Hello, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/PlasticAgePlays. Hey, I got it right the first time this time. Um, we have come here tonight to play some Odysseys and Overlords Second Edition. In case you are unaware, Odysseys and Overlords Second Edition is a fantasy game using the Savage Worlds rules. It basically relies on Savage Worlds Adventure Edition and the Suede Fantasy Companion. It's currently available over on Kickstarter. And we are, as of right now, we have, did I not type right? Okay, sorry. As of right now, we're at 74% of our goal with 8 days left. So I'm confident and excited and hopeful that we will not only meet that base goal, but also be able to unlock some stretch goals. But of course, that requires the participation of folks like you. So if you've not yet done so, please head over there, consider backing it. If you've already backed it, awesome. Thank you so much. You're helping make it happen. Just be sure to tell your friends and your enemies and people you pass by on the street and, someone you haven't spoken to since high school. Just spread the word. Make sure folks are aware of this campaign. Because I want to showcase how fun and fast and easy Savage Worlds is, especially because I know some of the people watching this might be more familiar with my work over at Onyx Path, and maybe you haven't even seen Savage Worlds before. So I want to kind of show off how cool the system is. So we're going to do a little bit of a stunt here. We're going to do our character creation as a group. Then we're going to take a very brief break for biological and technological needs. And then we are going to come back and run a small one-shot. The one-shot that we are going to be running today is The Wicked Woods. It is a adventure that I have available over at Drive-Thru RPG. It's written for kind of any standard fantasy setting, but it does have notes right there in it for if you want to use it with Odysseys and Overlords. And we will be applying those notes as we play. Before we get into the nitty-gritty and the technical side of things, I would like everyone to go ahead and introduce themselves. So we're going to go clockwise according to what I see in front of me. So let's start things off with Sonny, please, if you would tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, anything you would care to promote.
All right. Hey guys. My name is Suni. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm just gonna promote my tag Wham Bam Narrow Tan. You can find me on Twitch, IG, and very rarely TikTok.
And how many N's are you at now?
It's
On Twitch?
three now. It's three now.
Excellent. I will get you a shout out real quick there. Hopefully that helps. Yep, sure does. Rock and roll. So I've got the link there in the chat so people can come and check out your things. Next up, Ray, please give us your pertinent details. I think you're muted, Ray. If you just tell us who you are, what you do, your pronouns, and anything you would like to
Sorry
promote.
about that.
No worries.
My name is Ray. My pronouns are he, him. I'm not really promoting anything, so that's pretty much it for me.
Rock and roll. No worries. Thank you so much for being here. And following the clockwise pattern, that brings us over to Lecco. Please give us your pertinent details.
Hi, Lecco Rodriguez, he, him, Gym Rat, Filthy Casual, appearing regularly on the Old Ways podcast and one of our many RPG real play productions, among which are Call of Cthulhu and many Onyx Path products. You can find recordings at theoldwayspodcast.com, and I can be found on the app formerly known as Twitter at Team Lecco, TEAMLECO.
Excellent. And I will throw the link to the Old Ways right here in the chat for folks. If you've not yet done so, definitely check them out. They put out a lot of quality content. I've had the extreme pleasure of being a guest over there once, but I've also played with a lot of the people that are involved in that production since like high school. So awesome folks. Much love to them. Go check out their work. And then that brings us over to Simon. If you could, please give us your pertinent details.
All right, my name is Simon, he, him. I can be found on Twitter and Instagram, and now YouTube at the Tabletop Almanac. Can I post my channels and stuff?
Should be able to. I might have some filth set up on my auto mod, so I can bring it up. Or if you want to post it in the Zoom chat, I can copy it over into the.
Yeah, I'll just put it in the. Oh, I can put it in the chat directly here. Identical, really. Okay, so you can find me at the tabletopalmanac.wordpress.com, where I blog RPG reviews and some comic reviews. You can also now find me on YouTube, where I vlog RPG reviews. And then monthly on the Onyx Path Twitch channel, and then various other spots too. So
Awesome.
Talking about Mage at the Ascension.
Yeah, and you're on Mage, second Wednesday of every month?
Wednesday of every month, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's an introductory series to Mage at the Ascension 20th Anniversary Edition.
Sweet. Highly recommend you check it out. One of these days, when I learn the secrets of bilocation in real life, or schedule permits, I will come over and take over and hijack your show, and we can talk about Sorcerer. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, you will.
It is my favorite aspect of Mage. I guess that leaves me. I'm Travis, he, they, when I'm not running games and writing them, and I am the part of the creative minds behind Odysseys and Overlords. We've also worked on this. The second edition came about through basically a long-term play test, actual play that I've been running with the good folks over at Roll for Seduction. We've been running that game now for 3.5 years, something along those lines. And so that's kind of how the second edition came to be. It was born from that actual play. So if you go over to their Twitch channel, we play there on every other Wednesday, usually around 3 p.m. Eastern. There should be some videos up in the archives over there as well. Fair warning, it is a grown folks channel, much like this one. They have the grown folks filter on, so do I. So you might hear some bad words and things that make you go, Viewer discretion, as always, is advised. So now that all the intros have been handled, let's get into it. We have gathered here today to make some characters. We talked a little bit beforehand about some concepts that folks had. And Suni, I think you kind of had the most, you and Simon, I think, had probably the most developed concepts. So if you want to let us know what you had in mind to play, Suni, that would be great.
Okay, so here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a wild folk character that is like curious about the world, doesn't really interact with people that are not his own, and he wants to explore the world and get new experiences. And I kind of want him to be like kind of silly and clumsy and awkward, but when it gets down to it, I want him to be like, "Ooh, I'm a sneaky boy."
Perfect. I love it. Wild folk, for those of you who are unfamiliar, are a new ancestry that we introduced in the Odysseys and Overlords world. All of the playable ancestries, for the most part, are new creations, and wild folk are kind of your humanoid animals. So Island of Dr. Moreau type things, cat people, dog people, things along those lines. Pretty much any sort of a mammal can be a wild folk. So yeah, awesome. And Simon, I know you had some concept stuff together. What did you cooked up so far?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of vampires in my fantasy, especially as a like organized faction of any sort. Overt, not like hidden society. That's all for the modern day stuff. So I leapt at the lesser vampire ancestry, and am sort of thinking through a warrior of some type, whether you're kind of classic blood knight, big armor, big sword, noble and chivalrous in as much as it is possible, given his tendency towards devouring the life force of others, or some sort of like monastic sword master type. I saw the Astragon Trueblades in Age of Sigmar Warcry, and that's like their entire warband shtick is that they're vampire monk martial artists who um, frankly, I just thought that was fantastic. So, challenge themselves by like taking on greater and more dangerous enemies and stuff like that. So that's kind of actually where I'm leaning towards right now.
Okay. Well, and we do have some, we'll be going through the character creation, so there'll be some opportunities to make some choices and kind of help the concept take shape. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. Once again, lesser vampires and other ancestry we've introduced in the world of Odysseys and Overlords. There's actually an entire nation of vampires. That's kind of the gothic horror section of the continent. It's very much divided up into sort of nations that also represent genres. So, the Shard is your gothic horror, Ravenlofty type of place. There's Madria, which is like a human supremacist, imperial power, something like you would imagine in like the late Dark Ages, early Renaissance. Very human centric, and in some ways human supremacist. Where the main bulk of the action is going to be set, at least especially for tonight's episode, is a nation called Chandra's Haven, which is a parliamentary theocracy. The church runs the place and writes laws, which are then voted on. And they also sponsor a lot of expeditions into the main sort of ruin on the continent, a vast expanse called the Untamed Gauntlet, filled with monster layers and ruins and all sorts of fun things like that. Ray, I know you had some basic concepts. Had you settled on one of the ancestries yet, or are you still?
Yeah, I'm going with Orc.
Going with Orc. That's right. Excellent.
So
Cool.
thinking like some kind of orc, like young orcish shaman, this character, a shaman fighter. And I'm out from my tribe and decided to see the world type of feel.
I like it. I love it. And that's one of the cool things too about Savage Worlds is it is classless. So if you want to start off with like a Gish type concept, or mix a couple things that might be a little bit harder to do in traditional fantasy right out the gate, it's definitely doable with the Savage Worlds engine. So I think that we're gonna have a lot of fun exploring that. And then Leko, do you have anything in mind yet for your character?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward kind of like a reformed kind of a reformed practitioner of the blood arts, of the spell scorched variety. Maybe trying to pass himself off as like an artificer or some sort of helpful recluse. But his power comes from a questionable place, where there are questionable red flowing things. But we don't have to go there. We can just make things, not from bodies or from blood. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning. Spell scorched, somewhere between blood mage and artifice. Something's going on there.
Cool. I like it. And yeah, the spell scorched, another one of the new ancestries that's introduced. They are descended from priests of the goddess of knowledge. There was a schism between the gods that resulted in the death of most gods. And when Ember was killed, there was this grand magical backlash that basically washed over her priests and the nation where she held her main temple. And it turned the people into what are now known as spell scorched. They're sort of elvish in their appearance, but they're very frail. They're very, and they're all very, culturally, they're very protective of magic. They really feel that wizardly type magic needs to be controlled and reined in and not studied by anyone that they don't think is fit to study it. So they're sort of self-appointed arbiters of who should and should not be working those types of magics, to varying degrees of success depending where on the continent someone goes. So cool. I think we've got a very interesting party dynamic here. And as we get our characters built, we'll sort of figure out how that all kind of comes together. But in the name of getting that done, let's pop open your character sheets here. As you do, I'm going to just pop one open so I can kind of vaguely follow along with you and guide things as easily as possible. Also going to bring it up so that the good folks at home can kind of see the sheet. We are using the official Savage Worlds sheet over on Roll20. It's really well designed. It's got nice, robust features, very easy to use, and it's got this handy dandy, probably one of my favorite things about the sheet, this little sword you can click on over in the corner that brings up all of your combat options and situational rules right there. Easy one click to take a look at. So if you ever want to know how something works in the base system, you can do that way. And I'll just bring that over so that the audience can see it. Yeah, there's a little sword you can click on, and then you go back over to the little U icon, and it brings you back up. So in terms of character creation, now that you've got your concepts down and your ancestries figured out, you'll want to, in the race area of the sheet, write down the name of your ancestry. We'll go through and sort of apply the things that do and do not come with that. You can actually, if you'd like, start typing in like under the edges and advances section of your sheet. You can copy and paste those things over from the Odysseys and Overlords PDF accordingly if you want to get a little bit of a head start on that. But once that is selected, you can do your attribute and skill purchases. You'll notice that there are 5 attributes, and each character starts with a D4 in each attribute. You then have 5 points that you can spend to increase those attributes. So, if you want to raise each one by 1 die step, you may do so. Or you can say, stay weak in one area and buff something else up a little bit more. And to do that on your sheet, it's very simple. All you gotta do is click the heightened die type, and it will translate over to that. So
What do I click on here?
if, like, for example, if you want to raise your agility, if you look at your agility, you'll see that the D4 is darkened in on the sheet. But if you click one of the other dice, it will.
Oh,
So whichever die is basically highlighted, that's the die of your attribute.
I like that. It's simple.
Quite. So, and if you have any questions about what the attributes cover, I'm happy to explain them in brief detail. But they are, I think, relatively straightforward.
You said we get 5 points to play with,
That is correct.
and each one is 1.
Yep, each die step is 1 point. So, for example, if you wanted to just like keep everything at a D4, you could crank something up to a D12.
It's a
I just went
solid.
basic. I put everything at D6.
Yeah, D6 across the board is not a bad build. And there are some opportunities to bring those up a little bit later in character creation.
It's still the case that they are the max for related skills, correct?
They're not the max for related skills. The way it works is so if you have, let's say you have agility at D6 and you want to raise your fighting to D8, it costs 2 raises instead of
right.
1.
Sorry. Yeah. Not a hard limit, but
right. It gets more expensive. Yeah. If you're once your skill gets higher than the linked attribute, then it gets more expensive to raise. Once you have those kind of figured out, just go ahead and let me know and we can move along to skills. I know Ray had said you're going just a straight D6s down the board.
Mhm.
Do you have any thoughts, Suni, on how you'd like to tackle yours?
So I think it makes sense to do at least a D8 for agility if I want him to be like a sneaky
Sure.
boy, because I'm trying to pull some influence from hobbits. I
Okay.
want a wild folk style hobbit at 6'5" and 220 something pounds.
That's awesome. I dig it. This is also a place where, keeping one eye on your ancestry traits can help because when you get into your abilities, sometimes the ancestry will have some modifiers to it, and the skills, there will sometimes also be modifiers to it. So you're going up D8 with agility. Anything else that you were looking at pumping?
Um, well, I put a D6 is for spirit, strength, and vigor because I don't want him to be too smart.
Sure, that's fair.
Keep him at a D4.
Keep the smarts a little low.
Keep him low.
Fair enough. Cool. Simon, any thought? What have you gone with for your trait breakdowns?
I did D6 down the line. I just don't feel like having a D4 in any of them. So
That is
Yeah,
fair.
that's how I'm like, I don't think I have any weakness like that.
so I'll look for things to bump at least agility and maybe strength
Fair enough.
later on.
And how about you, Leko?
I bumped up smarts and spirit, and I left strength and vigor down. And I'm still on the fence about whether or not I'm going to bump agility once or not at all.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, while you're thinking about that, we can move down to skills. When you head over to skills on your sheet, you'll see there is a little the hammer and wrench. You click on that, and that'll bring up your list of skills. So the first thing you want to do is check the core skills, and that should automatically check the skills that most characters start off with a D4 in for free. Again, you'll want to check your ancestries here. For example, wild folk do not begin with D4 in the common knowledge skill. So you can remove that from your core skills.
Done.
And then you also do not begin with persuasion, so you can remove that.
Sorry, there's no persuasion and no.
For wild folk.
Oh, for wild folk. My mistake. Never mind.
Yep. Wild folk don't get persuasion or notice, or they don't get persuasion or common knowledge, but you do start off with a bump to your notice skill. And we'll get to that once we start figuring out the values. So this is a thing where once you have the core skills selected, you can go through and kind of choose which ones you would like to spend. You know what you want to get, and click on those to give them the green check as well. For example, if you know you're playing a magic user, you're probably going to want some occult. You also might want to reserve some of your skill points if you're looking at taking an arcane background, which is the way that magic is achieved. Those come with their own special skills that you will need to purchase. They might be on the basic breakdown. Yes. So, for example, if you're going a cleric or druid route, faith is your arcane skill. If you're going a more wizardly alchemist route, spellcasting, I believe, is your skill. And then if you're playing a bard, you can use performance.
Both for animus.
For the animist, good question. Animists use animism, so it's a new skill.
Okay, so how do I add that?
You can go to knowledge other.
Okay.
And add that. And then once you have the ones that, and you can go back and forth on this, but once you have the skills selected that you know you're going to want, you can click the green check next to skills, and it will give you a breakdown on them similar to the one that you have on the attributes. so that you can pick up your die types in those. Every character starts with, apart from the free core skills that you get 12 additional points to raise your skills. Each die type costs 1 point starting at D4, as long as the skill is equal to or less than the attribute it's linked to. If it goes beyond the linked attribute, the cost becomes 2 points per die type. Your linked attribute for animism is vigor.
Okay.
And how many skills can we choose?
You,
5?
you get 12.
Oh, 12.
Yep.
But it's 1 point to buy the skill, 1 point to raise it up to your attribute, and 2 points above it.
Okay. How do I raise it in? Wait.
Yep.
Just choose the dice type it is.
Yep. And so each die type up to the attribute level costs 1. And then if you're going above the attribute level, it costs 2. Just a quick, I'm just going to do a quick look at everybody's selected ancestries. Orcs don't have anything that affects their skill selection. Spell Scorched get a +2 to alertness or +2 to notice. So if you look on the
And it starts at a D6, right? Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that's yeah, notice starts at a D6.
Yep.
And alertness gives me +2.
Yep. And so you'll see there's the die type and then there's the plus. So you can put in the +2 there. Going up to your attributes, by the way, for Orc, you do have a -1 penalty to agility, though it does not affect the linked skills.
The skills, yeah. Okay.
So, and then for Lesser Vampire, you have no changes to your skills or attributes, so you just come with a standard loadout. Anybody got any questions about how skills are functioning or what we're doing here? Am I moving too fast for anyone?
You're moving too fast for me.
Sure.
So I am picking skills still, and I think my block is translating it to the character, like figuring out
Sure.
what makes the most sense.
Would it help if I just kind of give you like a basic breakdown of what each skill does? Would that be of value? So academics is kind of your book smarts, things you would learn in the library. Athletics is physical movement, coordination, things along those lines. Battle is a skill that is rolled for commanding troops. Boating is for any skills involving seafaring. Common knowledge is sort of just the things that the average person in the setting might have a chance to know. Oftentimes, even if especially like dealing with monsters and such, if I would say like this could be an occult roll or a common knowledge roll at a -2 penalty, for example. Driving is basically piloting any ground-based vehicle. Electronics is not appropriate to the setting. Faith is the arcane skill for people who use their powers through belief. Fighting is hand-to-hand combat. Focus is for psionics, and also the lesser vampire is going to want to possibly dump some points into focus, because you do get a couple of powers thanks to your condition as a vampire, but you don't get any dots in or any dots. Whoo! Somebody's been playing too much. You don't get any dice in focus for free, so you will want to spend some points there. Gambling is the art of bluffing and of playing games of chance. Hacking not important in this setting. Healing is like medicine, like treating injuries and illnesses. Intimidation is scaring folks. Native language is not necessary for our purposes. Notice is noticing things, spotting and hearing things, being aware of the world around you. Occult is knowledge of the supernatural and of monsters based on like lore and wisdom that has been collected. Performance can be anything from singing, dancing, speaking. That all falls under performance. Persuasion is trying to get something out of someone by being nice. Piloting, if in the event that you were to find something that moves through the air, piloting would be what you would roll. Psionics is not important to the setting. Though if you take that, I mean, you can take that arcane background that would give you that, and that would be fine. It's just super rare. Repair is fixing things that are broken, including armor, weapons, things along those lines. Research is the ability to go to a place where there's like written information or basically just gathering intelligence over time. Riding is riding an actual mount. Science is scientific knowledge. Alchemy would also kind of fall into that at times. Shooting is any ranged attacks. Spellcasting is the arcane skill for wizard type characters. Stealth is sneaking around. Survival is like wilderness survival, like knowing what plants you can eat, knowing where to go for shelter. Taunt is the ability to draw someone's attention or basically fuck with them during combat so that they pay attention to you or so that you can kind of guide where they're going in the fight. Thievery is picking locks, sneaking into places, kind of anything you would think of as like a traditional thieves skill. Trade is for negotiating with merchants or being one. And weird science, not particularly appropriate to the setting.
Okay.
Does that help? Did I go too fast for that?
No, that was helpful. So now I'm thinking, so I picked, tell me if this hits right with the concept I just gave.
Sure.
I picked athletics, fighting, which might change, healing. And for notice, I get it anyway, or
You start off with a, I believe you start off with a D6 notice.
D6. Okay, and then it's a +2, right? Yeah. Okay, and I
Yep.
have that. And then I have stealth, survival, and taunt. Because I want him to be cheeky and kind of menacey.
Sure. That all makes sense.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 7. And then I have like 6 more points, right?
Yes, but remember, any of the ones that are part of the core skills, you don't have to pay for. The first for the D4 for them.
Right.
So your core skills are athletics, common knowledge, notice, persuasion, and stealth. So your first die in athletics, notice, and stealth cost you nothing. If you wanted to buy common knowledge and persuasion, you have to spend out of your points to get them. And
Gotcha.
you always suffer a -1 on persuasion rolls because of being scary. Basically, wild folk are gruff and tend to be growly, and they tend to intimidate other people. So it's harder for them to use persuasion.
Makes sense.
All right. Ray, have you found your skill spread, or are you still working on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've spent a decent amount of my points. I figure so far I've put 1 raise, 1 into athletics. I got fighting to a D6, healing to a D6. I took basic intimidation because I figure big orc, I'm always going to be a little bit scary. A little bit of a cult because I have some knowledge of it. and animism, and I'm basically survival right now.
Okay, cool.
So I think I have like 2 points left or something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right. It should be, if you don't have any reduced core skills, you should have 17 skill dice when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and I don't.
Um, how about Simon? You got your skill spread figured out?
Yeah. I mean, so I bumped up some of the common ones too, but I didn't spend extra points anywhere like by going too high. So, I focus on movement, athletics, fighting. I did get focus for my shape change and fear powers. Also intimidation. Is persuasion a core skill?
Persuasion is a core skill.
Okay. So just looking at it going, I've taken a lot of things that are penalties to persuasion. I just shouldn't take it, period. But if it's free, then I'll take it. Yeah, so mainly your, shadow warrior kind of spread.
I dig it. I like it. And how about you, Leko? What are we looking at for our skill spread here?
So far, so non-core, academics, occult, repair, research, and spellcasting
Dig it. Dig
to
it.
varying degrees.
Cool. All right. If we're ready to scoot past your skills, at least for the moment, you have some derived statistics. I believe these are automatically calculated on all your sheets, so you shouldn't have to worry about them too much. But your pace is 6 unless it's modified by either ancestral feature or a edge. Your parry is equal to 2 plus half your fighting die type, plus any bonuses you might get for shields or weapons. So right now, if you look at your fighting die type, whatever that is, it should be half of that plus 2 should be what your sheet reads as parry.
And where do I see fighting die type on the sheet?
You're fighting, whatever your fighting score is. The skill.
Where is it? Okay.
So if you have a D4 in fighting, your parry would be 4.
Makes sense.
And that should auto calculate as you shift them around. Your size is 0 normally. However, the orc is size 1. And that should automatically calculate the changes that creates for your toughness.
Yeah, change it to 6.
Yep. And then your toughness is equal to your 2 plus half of your vigor, plus any armor. Once you get armor on, you'll see the armor amount in parentheses next to your toughness. Make sense?
Yeah, I have a question about the sheet here.
Sure.
I don't know what it was that I might have done, but it's listed me as a veteran rank with 8 advances. Is that
because as you're putting in your features for your
my
your
ancestry?
ancestry, yeah. When you go into those, there should be like a drop down that says like advance. You want to make sure you select whatever ancestry or racial or whatever it says there.
Racial or okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And that should kick you back down to novice rank.
Awesome.
So I'm not really sure where. So we haven't talked about edges and hindrances yet, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We were just about to get into that fun stuff.
Okay.
So this is where things get simple for you in a hurry, and it starts to become a matter of prioritization. None of you are human, so none of you start with any edges. If you would like to take edges, as I know some of you already have kind of laid out for your concept, you need to take hindrances to pay for them. So hindrances are kind of things that get in the way, that make your life complicated, and as a result, give you a little bit of extra points at character creation.
You can take 2? Is that?
Well, so you can take up to 4 points worth of hindrances.
Oh, okay.
A major hindrance is worth 2 points, and a minor is worth 1. So you could do 4 minor hindrances, or you could do 2 major, or 1 major and 2 minor. Any that are included in your ancestry don't count. So, for example, the wild folk have the thin-skinned hindrance. That you don't get points for that. That's just part of being a wild folk.
Oh, this guy is super easy for me now. Okay, cool.
Uh,
My favorite part of the game. What's wrong with me? Let me tell you.
do you have any hindrances in mind off the top of your head?
Me too, specifically. Yeah.
Oh, what did you have in mind there, Leko?
So I'm going to take 2 major hindrances. The first one is a habit.
Okay. What's going to be your major
So
habit?
the description is addicted to something, suffers fatigue if deprived. So the addiction is it's blood magic. Big surprise.
Okay.
And I will be taking corruption major.
Excellent.
This hindrance will be taken only by a character with an arcane background, which I'll be taking. Caster's magic draws on some foul, evil, or tainted source. Whenever he rolls a critical failure on his arcane skill, he grants a new minor hindrance or trades or upgrades a minor hindrance gained by corruption for a major that reflects his degrading mind and body. So yeah, there you go.
I love it. And
That's why we just make farming implements now.
And which arcane background were you going to go with?
Oh, the magic one, the arcane skill, spell casting.
Right. So there's a couple of options. You can just go with, if you're going out of the straight Savage Worlds core, there is the what's it called? Arcane background.
Yeah, it's called magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go over into Swayed Fantasy, there are a couple of other options there.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I see Diabloist, Warlock, Witch, Necromancer.
Where are
Those
those?
might all apply to you.
Where are those?
Yeah. So if you go into the Fantasy Companion,
Mhm.
they start in chapter 5, I believe. Is magic. Chapter 4.
I see.
Starts on page 90.
Yeah, found it.
And
All right, I'll
that
flip through this a
PDF
little bit.
should have some very handy bookmarks if you want to slide through them.
Yeah, my Acrobat decided to update, so everything's reversed and I'm confused, but I'm working on it.
No worries. Simon, any thoughts on hindrances and edges?
Yep. Hindrances, I took arrogant as a major one,
That's
poverty as a minor one,
Okay.
and mean as a minor one.
I love it. Yeah.
Edges, though, are being a bit tricky because of the D8 minimum for a number of them.
You also don't necessarily need to purchase edges with your hindrance points. So you can raise an attribute by a die type for two hindrance points, or choose an edge, and then for 1 point you can gain another skill point or gain additional starting funds. Rather than doing a whole bunch of shopping, I'm just going to give you all equipment loadouts that make sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So you don't have to worry about the additional starting funds, unless you want to just have money in your pocket.
What are so if something has a requirement of like seasoned or whatever, that's not us, right?
Right?
We're not seasoned.
You're not seasoned. You can only take things that are novice
Okay.
or just no requirement.
So if the background costs how many points to take?
It's an edge, so it's 2 points.
Okay, and then that leaves me with 2 because I have 4 points of hindrances, right?
Right. Just double check that if you take one that, for example, I believe the Diabolist, or no, the Sorcerer, if you went that route, the arcane backgrounds will have things that you automatically, like hindrances that you automatically get as part of the background. So, like if you took the Sorcerer arcane background, you get corruption, so you can't take that to get points. Make sense?
Oh, you get corruption already. I see.
Yep.
Well, that's just I was looking at that one anyway. So I get corruption, then I could take another one.
Right, you'd be able to select another one, but you get the corruption hindrance and the armor interference hindrance, but you don't get any points for them.
Sure, but you get these 3 powers from this list here.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm into this. So we're gonna take some more hindrances in case you're wondering.
I'm shocked and amazed.
Yeah.
Ray, did you have any particular
I
hindrances?
think I'm gonna go with the ones we discussed on Discord. Just curious and clueless.
I love it. It's a beautiful combination.
Yeah,
Now, are those both major?
I'm new here, so
Are those both major?
yeah, that's both major.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So then that gives you 4 points to spend. If you wanted to go with, did you have any edges in mind, or were you going to just pump those into
I mean,
traits?
definitely the animist one.
Okay.
So that's one edge, and I was looking through the list to see if anything else stands out.
Yep. And you'll notice if you take the arcane backgrounds, it will tell you a requirement. So, for example, in order to be an animist, you must have your vigor at D6 or higher. You get some starting powers and power points, and all powers that you access through that arcane background are limited range touch. So you have to get up in people's grill to use them.
Right.
Quick note, while this won't work for every power because some of the powers exist only in Fantasy Companion or only in Odysseys and Overlords, most of the powers you can type the name in the compendium and just drag it onto your sheet and it will give you everything you need for the power.
And according to this list, I can only take powers that are rank novice or lower, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so if there's any powers in there that are a higher rank, you don't qualify for them yet.
Yeah. So like Banish, for example, is first on my list, but it says rank veteran. So I
Right.
can't take that.
You can't take Banish yet. No. It's a little rich for your blood. One thing also I want to show you, just to make those of you who do have powers make your lives easier. We're gonna just go ahead and drag a power over onto this character. We're gonna give them Bolt. Yep. So I drag Bolt over onto the sheet. It appears down in my powers. You can see. I don't know if you can see this. Like if you can have the ability to look over at the Twitch for the moment. But when you bring the power in, it gives you a full breakdown of what that power consists of, and there's a nice little gear next to the name. If you click on that gear, it gives you the ability to alter some things. For example, you can change your button behavior. Normally, I will do skill only for the spell casting, then manually roll any damage that it does. But you can also do attack and damage, and then it lets you pick which trait you're going for. So if your trait is spell casting, you can go ahead and put in spell casting from the drop down, and then you can add in the dice of whatever the damage is for that bolt. In this case, it's 2d6, so it's already right there. And then now when I click that power, it will just roll everything I need right there in the chat with everything pre-figured out for me.
And just to be sure, how do I pull a power from where onto? Okay.
If you go over to the compendium, it should be at the top of your chat window. There should be an option, a little circle with an I in the middle of it. Once you bring that up, you should just be able to type in the search bar. You type in the name of the power. If the power doesn't show up, it's because it's either in the Fantasy Companion only, or it's in Odysseys and Overlords.
So when I hit the, are you talking about the dot on my character sheet, or are you talking about in the
Chat window?
Oh,
Yep.
Never mind.
Yep.
It's like the Roll20 thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. While we're going over this, just real quick, I'm going to just step into promotional mode for a moment and talk about some of the powers that we offer in Odysseys and Overlords. These may or may not be on your power lists, but I did want to just kind of at least touch base on them so that people are aware of some of the things that you can do. So we have Animate Tool, which lets you basically create, you bring tools to life so that those tools can work independent of you. So like if you want to repair something like while you're doing something else, comes in handy in that regard. Also comes in handy, like for example, if you want to have your tools map an area while you're walking through it, so you don't have to do that. You can do that with animate tool. Animate arms and armor. That lets you basically create animated weapons and animated armor to protect you. Cleanse is a power that lets you touch an item up to size -2 and remove all filth, bacteria, and other contaminants from the item. Makes it clean and sterile. And then you can pump power points into it to affect a bigger target. Detect or conceal poison. That's handy. Does what it says on the tin. Firefly Curse, which can cause your target to glow with magical energies, making them easier to spot and hit with ranged attacks. Also keeps them from turning invisible, because you can see their outline. Forge Bane, which is a seasoned power none of you can take yet, but I just like talking about it because it's awesome. While the target is under the effects of Forge Bane, their attacks ignore any bonuses granted from metal, armor, or shields. You just punch through metal because it's not there. It's a nifty little druid spell. Mending, which lets you automatically repair damage to objects. Seduce, which lets you basically gives you a bonus on persuasion attempts to influence the target. And then Wizard's Parry, which basically lets you ignore all damage from one attack. And then it goes off. So those are also some options that are there that are in Odysseys and Overlords. So, Suni, had you gotten into your hindrances and edges?
Yes. So I am feeling curious and pacifist minor.
Okay.
I think that would make for interesting dynamic with Ray's character.
Sure.
And for the edge, I'm looking at luck.
Luck is not a bad thing to have, especially as a starting character. And that will then give you, if you're pacifist minor, you'll still have 1 point, so you could spend an extra point in the skills if you wanted to.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
Right? Because curious is major? Or did you do
Yes.
both? Yeah. So. All right. So Simon, you got all yours. We talked about all yours, correct?
Yeah, I settled on what I was doing. I took first strike as an edge,
Handy.
and I actually dropped my vigor to D4 and then bumped my agility to D8, so I could spend my remaining points on fighting to D8.
I love it. And so have you been able to copy you? I know you did because we talked about it on your sheet. But have the rest of you been able to copy over your ancestral abilities onto your sheets?
My
I
powers?
copied mine over.
No.
Yeah.
Just go through those and make sure that you apply those to your traits accordingly.
Yeah, just did it manually. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to add them manually. You just want to make sure that you've got the source from the drop down, where it asks the source of the edge. That you've got that down as racial, so it's not artificially pumping your points, your experience points. Make sense? Does anyone have any questions about their ancestry features and how those work?
No, I think mine are pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm sure I have a question about Berserk if that actually goes off.
Sure.
But that'll be later.
So an easy way to handle that is, because I believe it just gives you the Berserk edge. So you can just drag the Berserk edge over onto your sheet and then just mark down that it's from racial.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have the copy to paste it already.
Okay. Cool. Also, you can, if you go down into the bottom of your sheet, where it shows you your equipment, you can just add orc skin and that gives you +2 to. And that under area protected, you go full body for the
Okay.
drop down, and add 2 armor.
Armor, skin, full body, 2.
And now,
Okay.
and now if you scroll up and look at your toughness, that should be reflected.
Yes, so it's 8, 8, 2.
Yep.
8 parentheses 2 rather.
Yep. So, yeah. So even like frail orcs are not frail. like the frailest of orc is still pretty tough. So I guess then, since I think you're pretty much ready to rock and roll, Ray, right? What did you have in mind for your equipment loadout? Do you want to wear any additional armor? And do you want to, and what kind of weapons would you like to carry?
Probably some kind of leather armor, and definitely a two-handed weapon.
Okay. So you can, if you go over to the compendium, are you thinking a sword or like an axe?
Axe.
Excellent. So I believe if you type in axe in the compendium, yep, you have options there from battle, great, hand, or throwing. You can drag them over to your sheet, and it should just populate for you.
Okay.
Same with leather armor. And the way you'll want to do the leather, you'll note that it is you'll have a cap, jacket, and then leggings, basically. So you'll decide if you want the light or the tough, and drag those over, and because each one will give you protection of a different part of your body. Make sense?
Okay.
Let me know if you're
So
under any...
most of these axes require higher strength, so I guess I'll be bumping my strength up.
Oh yeah, for
The
the
minimum strength requirement.
yes, yeah. If you don't meet the minimum strength requirement for the weapon, I believe you can still use them, but you get a penalty. Yeah, so each die type difference between your strength and the item's minimum strength inflicts a -1 penalty to pace, agility, and agility-related skill rolls.
Okay, yeah, I'll just bump my strength to D8 and use a D8 weapon.
Okay.
Because I had an extra 2 points of hindrance that I wasn't sure where I was going to put yet.
Sweet. Then it all works out. And then, so Simon, does that put you at gear at this point?
Yep, it does.
And before I forget, did you drag over your powers that you get from your lesser vampire status?
I did.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
So I'm going for a polearm of some sort. I'm debating between Ransor and Spear. Because one is heavier, but it gives me AP 1, and the other one gives me parry +1 and reach 1.
Yeah, I mean the reach and parry are very handy.
I'm gonna go with that actually because I did bump my vigor down. So spear and what's the throwing skill?
Agility or athletics. Sorry.
Athletics. Okay, cool. I took some hand axes for that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Glorious.
Yeah.
So did I.
And I guess I should take a close combat weapon as well, but
Might not hurt. Even a dagger would be fine.
yeah.
Any thoughts on armor for your character?
Armor. I gotta. Okay, let's see. So something in the light range because he can't carry anything more.
Yeah, light leather would probably be fine.
Yeah, let's do light leather.
Oh, and also, if you'll note, those of you who do have powers, on your sheet, above where the powers appear, or right at the bottom, it'll say powers, and then right after it'll say AB1, and then 0 of 0 power points. you'll fill out your PowerPoint total in there. And then you can keep track of as you spend them on the left number. So your total is the right, is your right, and your current is your left. Make sense?
Mhm.
And Suni, go ahead.
How do I remove powers on the sheet?
If you have to delete something that you accidentally added. So if you look down, when you click on the little gear, or no, I'm sorry. If you anything that you need to to remove from the sheet, if you look at the end of that entry, you should see a little red padlock.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on the padlock, it'll unlock that, and then you should see a little trash can, so you can click the trash can and pull it off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just make sure you reseal that, because otherwise you'll end up accidentally deleting some powers, I'm sure. Because that's how life works.
So I did take another hindrance. There's no way to get more powers, right? That's just what you get.
You can take the new powers edge.
What's that?
Let me double check though. Yep, yeah, novice and the arcane background. You get 2 new powers by choosing the edge.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that.
All right.
Well, where is that edge?
It's on page 47 of the Suede core book. You can just type it into the compendium and drag it onto your sheet. And Suni, weapons and armor. Any thoughts on that?
For armor, I'm thinking light, jacket and leggings.
Okay.
And for weapons, I'm looking at hand axe, and either a light or a heavy club.
Okay. And also, just to be fair, 2 things to consider. One, being a pacifist, you may not want to load up with too much weaponry, but also, which not to say you can't have it. You're absolutely welcome to. Just a thing to think about. But also, under weapons, you will want to write down your claws.
Right.
And an easy way to do that is to just drag a dagger over from the compendium and then change it to claws.
Ah, good looks. Dagger, 2 claws.
And I believe, if you haven't already typed them in, if you drag over environmental resistance onto your sheet, it should populate, and then you can just go in and edit it for what's appropriate for your character.
Got it.
So, anyone have any questions? Any things that you feel you're not getting, or anything that you're stuck on?
I'm a little unsure of my point distribution on attributes, or rather skills.
Okay, so you should have. Did you spend any of your? You didn't spend any of your hindrance points on skills, correct?
No, I picked up another edge. I picked up quick.
Okay, so in that case, then you should have 15 die steps worth of skills.
Okay.
Because you do not get the 2 of the automatic ones.
I won't let the writing chaps.
You're welcome
I
to
see
have
them
them.
here.
You're absolutely welcome to it.
Can I stack them on other armor?
No, you cannot benefit from wearing them over another pair of leather pants that will just be hot.
I know, that's why I'm. Oh,
Not that kind of hot. Yeah, it'll just be warm. But
HAWT.
How is the power selection coming along there, Leko?
Okay so far. I had to go through the list because there's a bunch of them and see which ones I could actually take, and then I have to pare that down to the ones I might actually take.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we're working through it. The selection is selecting.
And the last thing that you want to make sure you do, once you have everything else sort of together, you want to make sure that you'll see on your character sheet, there's a little circle above like your pace, parry, and toughness that has a little sword and shield. You want to put 3 in that. That is your bennies. Everybody starts with 3 bennies. You can spend a benny for different effects in gameplay.
Benny. Where do we have that again? I'm sorry.
You'll see that little right above your pace, parry, and toughness. There's a little slot that has a circle, a gold circle underneath it that has a sword and a shield icon on it.
I see. Beep.
And since you have luck, you get an extra benny, so you start with 4.
Oh, and the powers in the new book aren't in here, obviously, right?
Correct. Yeah, you'd have to. The ones that are in Fantasy Companion, you mean?
The ones that are in
Or Odysseys and Overlords?
Yeah.
They're not in there. I'm gonna look and see which ones are actually available to you at Novice.
Yeah, mending and animate tool are both available.
Yep. The rest require you to be a little bit further along, I think.
Yep.
Oh, cleanse and detect conceal poison.
But I mean, who really wants to know, right?
Well, I mean, the conceal part could be handy.
Well, like some sort of villain? No.
So
Reformed. We are reformed.
those of you, since all of you have bennies, there are a couple things you can do. Sometimes you might have a edge that allows you to spend them for something, but any character can spend them to re-roll something if they fail. You just roll a new die, like you flat out re-roll it. You can also spend them to recover from being shaken. Rather, normally if you are hit, you can become shaken. When you're shaken, you can't really do the amount of actions you can do is limited. You have to make a vigor roll to come out of being shaken normally, but you can spend a benny to instantly overcome it. You can spend a benny if somebody gets through your toughness. You can spend a benny to try to soak the damage, and if you're in a combat and you want to draw a new action card to try to get a better initiative, you can spend a benny to do that. If you want to reroll damage, you can spend a benny for that. And you can spend bennies to regain power points. So if you have an arcane background, you can spend a benny to regain 5 power points that you've spent instantly. And the last one is to influence the story. So this works, for those of you who are familiar with Trinity Continuum, this works somewhat like dramatic editing. If you want to make some minor changes to the narrative, have access to a piece of equipment that happens to be laying around, convince someone to be a little bit nicer maybe than they were being before. Those are the types of things you can do with a benny expenditure as well. And those benny expenditures are listed on page 90 of the core book, but also I believe they're on your sheet. Maybe not. See if they come up in an easy to find way in the compendium. Yes, if you type in bennies in the compendium, you'll see the bennies using bennies. And if you click on that, it'll give you a little pop-up that tells you what all they do. Make sense?
And, mhm.
Clear as mud.
Clear
So I'm
as
having a
mud.
problem getting my spells to use the right skill.
Oh, so when you, because you've got the,
Yeah, it's not on the list of what I can choose from.
yeah. Let me
Is
see.
Can I
the-
just choose one that has a D6 in it? Because
Let-
that's my modifier.
I mean, yeah, if that's fine. If for quick and dirty purposes for now, yeah, you can
Yeah.
choose a different skill that's at D6. At the end of the day, it's rolling the same thing. So
That's what I figured. That's what I was going to do instead of trying to figure out how to get this custom skill in, right?
or if weird science works, you can just choose weird science because I think weird science might be one of the ones that's offered in the drop downs.
I'm trying to figure out where
I just put in
seem to-
athletics because I have a D6 in athletics.
That works too.
uh,
What's up, Leco?
I think I lost where the blood magic is. I don't remember where it is now.
You're looking for blood magic.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember if it was like a hindrance or something. What was it? It was
Oh, that's
saw it in
in
here.
Fantasy Companion.
yeah. Where is it? Is it an edge?
That is a
Yeah, there it is.
edge.
I
It's
found
on page 36 of the.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, anytime that you deal a wound to a conscious sapient being of some sort, you recover D6 power points.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And you're rolling around with a pacifist. This is going to be a hoot.
Am I though? Mm.
So, Suni, did you get your equipment sorted out then?
Yeah, I didn't scoop up that many weapons, but I am having trouble finding on my sheet. Like I picked up like a blanket and a med kit, but I don't see it on my sheet.
Any gear that you grabbed should be just there's a gear sec right next to your skills that under the parry toughness pace should be a gear entry.
Oh, I got it. Got it. Oh my god.
No, it's a thing that's really easy to overlook because it's literally dead center of the sheet.
Yeah. It's like I don't need to look there. There's nothing there that I need
Yeah.
other than my gear.
So, anybody else have any speed bumps? Anything that you're not getting for character creation?
No, but I have a shame that apparently I should probably share during character creation as it's major,
Oh,
which means
excellent.
everybody knows about it.
What is your shame?
So you said that we're going to be in Chandra's Haven, starting out where in?
We're gonna start out in a silly little town, little village.
Which kingdom, I guess, is that?
Oh, you're in Chandra's Haven is the kingdom.
Okay.
You're going to be in the village of Fairhaven.
Okay. Because I was thinking that this character likely used to work under the employ of the lady vampire of the Shard, as a you could say I don't know, a stable master of sorts
Okay.
for the ones who decided to not pay their blood tithe.
Okay.
And so, however, whatever method she has for handling those who want to dwell but don't necessarily want to pay. He was basically a tax collector.
Okay. Excellent. That makes total sense. Yeah, there are people who, if any territory that doesn't have like a strong vampiric presence, or if just has a lazy noble, will have mortal or monstrous tax collectors to go around and get blood from folks. So that makes a lot of sense. That may also be kind of where you and Simon's character met up. Maybe you both left the Shard, possibly under a need to suddenly GTFO.
Well, you burn down enough homes, and it's like someone's gonna get mad eventually.
I couldn't find anyone worthy of a fight. They all just kept dying.
So if anything, considering one, the nature of my employ, and two, my frailty, I am likely traveling with the large fighty one, or at least was, until we can find a place to, be mundane. Since, well, I don't need to drink blood. I just like it.
That's fair. Um,
Quit playing with my food.
cool. And then one last thing, and then I think we'll take our brief bio break if that works for you. But before we do, I do want to go over safety tools. Always use them. I tend to use the X card, so if we ever run into something that, for whatever reason, you need to X, you can say X, you can make an X with your hands, you can type X in the Zoom chat. Full disclosure, the last place I'm going to see it is the Zoom chat. So feel free to type X and tell me, look at Zoom chat. That's fine. If there's content that is X'd out, I will just stop, back up, and get rid of the content. The only time that I might ask any questions about it is if I literally don't understand, like if I'm not sure what you're Xing, I might ask for clarification, but I can't imagine the X card being used and me not knowing why it was used. Having said that, I also like to go with yes goes and no goes. These are things that we do and do not want to see in the game. Just for example, my yes go is almost always gore. I love it. And my no go is always SA. Don't see a need to bring it in the game. So, Suni, do you have any yes goes or no goes?
My no-goes would be SA as well. And my yes would be putting my character in dangerous situations. I want to see that for sure.
Excellent. Peril. I can make that happen. And by the way, you're not limited to one no-go. So if there's anything that you're phobic of, something you don't want to see happen, excellent. Rock and roll. Cool. How about you, Ray? Any yes goes, no goes that you'd like to add to the list?
No, I mean, I think SA is pretty much the standard one. Other than that, I'm cool with pretty much everything else.
Dope. Simon, yes goes, no goes?
Oh, same. And yeah, children in peril. Well, harm to children.
Okay. So
Peril is different.
So you want to no harm to children.
Yep. Animals, that's fine.
Excellent. And Lecco.
Gotta kill those dogs.
Peter.
Well, so funny you mentioned that. So I have one specifically against domesticated animals. No John Wicking anybody's harmless pet. However, any guard dogs, abominations, and/or mutated creatures are fair game. But if somebody boots a Jack Russell, we're gonna have a problem.
What are your feelings on farm animals?
I mean, whatever. I've exploded many a sheep in my time.
It took a lot of clicks.
Excellent. All right, cool.
He knows.
One of my favorite.
Oh, yes goes.
Yes goes.
I mean, at this point, I need to demand some I don't know, some moral conflict, some ethical violations of some kind.
Ethical conflict. I'll do my best.
Yeah. Not necessarily more like I'll say tough decisions. I want to see some tough decisions between characters if we could.
All right. I think you'll probably run into that. I think that's almost for a conclusion. All right, so for yes goes, I've got gore, peril, ethical conflict. For no goes, I've got SA, harm to children, and pets. Everybody has their sheet in something resembling order and feels confident enough that we can dive in when we come back from our break and get the party started.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just have one one question for Simon.
Yeah.
Considering you have been drafted as the point of the sword, as it were, would you prefer a stat boost, a defense boost, an armor boost, or a weapon damage boost?
Oh gosh. He's kind of the glass ninja type.
Okay.
So
More damage is more
probably
damage.
the defense. Oh,
okay.
well, yes. Either he takes them down first, or he um, could use a armor or defense kind of boost.
Well, that's not a choice. All right, I'll make it for you. Don't worry.
Glorious. Well, on that bright, shiny note, then, we're going to go ahead and take 5 so that each of us can handle our biological and technological needs. Resistance is futile. And when we get back, we will dive into our story for the day, The Wicked Woods, which I do once again want to remind you is available over at Drive Through RPG. This is a introductory adventure for Savage Worlds using Fantasy Companion. It's designed to be able to be suited for convention play, so it's a fast scenario in theory. Also want to remind you, of course, the reason that we are here is for the Odysseys and Overlords 2nd edition Kickstarter, which I would love it if you would go check out and possibly back. And if you've already backed it, you're the best around. No one's ever going to bring you down. And I would like you to share it with everyone you know. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Sit tight. Welcome back, everyone. We are here at twitch.tv/Plastic Age Plays for some Odysseys and Overlords second edition to support our Kickstarter that is currently ongoing. I'm going to go ahead and throw that link in the chat once again and ask you once again to pretty please with sugar on top, consider heading over there and backing our Kickstarter. We've just done character creation. Took us about an hour and 30 minutes for the whole group. Seemed to go pretty smooth, and I think we all have just enough knowledge to make us dangerous. So let's dive into our adventure, The Wicked Woods. Before we get too deep into things, I do need to know everybody's names.
I am Atonius Ramorith. You can call me Tony for short.
I love it.
Tony. I am Hofos.
Excellent.
I am Zagdig.
Was it
Zagdig.
Zagdig? Excellent. I see there. Okay. And I'm going to just give you a token so that I've got something to Oh, there we go. All right, we got you covered. All right. And what was yours, Simon?
Ominous Nightfall.
Beautiful. I love it.
Your name is ominous.
So,
Or Nightfall, whichever you prefer.
our tale is, as I mentioned, set in the small village of Fairhaven in Chandra's Haven. We're going to assume that you have been traveling together for a bit of time. You made your way to Fairhaven because it is a place where there's often coin to be made without having to go all the way into the Untamed Gauntlet. The primary means for adventurers to earn coin is to acquire a writ of salvage from the church and then go into the Untamed Gauntlet to pillage for the spoils of ruins and monster lairs. However, there are some places where freelancing is a little bit more common locally. In Fairhaven in particular, there's a wizard by the name of Zephon who lives in a tower not too far outside of town, who often posts various errands and jobs on the message board at the Soup and Sleep Inn. Having said that, though, much to your disappointment when you arrived, there were no active notices. And as you're kind of wandering around a little bit out at town, maybe checking out some of the various wares that the folks sell, you can all, and this is going to be, we'll say, shortly after sundown. So very early evening. And you all hear kind of a panicked shout coming from the eastern end of the village. It's a woman's voice. She's like, "Help, help, there's been a robbery."
I mean, as much as I would generally respond to screams, I mean, robberies are very interesting to me. But I will defer to the other companions here.
I mean, there's something interesting going on over there. I at least want to know what it is.
What was Ray's character name? I'm sorry. Ray, what
There's
was
something interesting going on over there.
It's Zagdig.
Zach?
Yeah, Zagdig. Probably just call me Zag.
The common criminal will not test my skills, but I haven't eaten yet. So
Pophos will look at all of you with a panicked look on his face, and he'll say, "We have to go, guys. Someone's in danger." And he'll just start, he's sprinting, he's gone, going in the direction.
Popos, you're definitely the first to arrive on the scene, and as you get closer, you can hear, along with the screams, you hear the crying. Sounds like it's coming from a young girl. When you arrive, there's a woman. Looks like she's probably in her 40s, dressed in sort of very common farmer's clothing, a dress and apron that's seen cleaner days. And she has a child with her, probably 6, 7 years old. There's also an elderly man who seems to be trying to calm her down as you run up. And what would you like to say when you run up to her?
Okay, so like hopefully he just runs up and he comes to like a sliding stop. Maybe he gets a little too close to the people. He's very overeager. And he says, don't worry, I'm here now. Tell me what happened. How can I help?
Oh, thank you so much. My daughter Claire here was playing with a strange child we'd never seen before. And I called her to come inside because the sun was going down. And she came in just weeping and wailing. And she said that this girl she was playing with took off with 3 of our pigs and went that way.
And Pulvis will like look in the direction and then look back to see where his companions are. And he turns back to the people and it's just, hold on, wait 1 second. I think I need the rest of my squad. And he's just waiting. And he's like, guys.
Okay. I was definitely right behind her because I wanted to know what was going on.
Excellent. And the other 2 are sort of slowly, lackadaisically making their way out.
Lackadaisical is the word to use.
Dragging his spear butt on the ground.
She says, if you could help us recover my pigs, I don't have much, but I have 10 gold. I can certainly pay you for your troubles, and I'd be more than happy to butcher one of the pigs up, let you have the meat.
You say it was a small child.
Yeah, she. I didn't get that good of a look at her. I was just yelling from the porch. And the little girl says, "She had real big eyes, Mama, and her hair was white like Mr. Anderson's." And she points at the elderly man who had come over to kind of check on her when she was screaming.
Can I get a?
And you did not combat her for what reason, small child?
Because I'm a kid.
And so was she. A true test of your skill.
Can I derive anything about this? The origin of the other character or the other child, just kind of based on the description here.
I'll give you occult at -2 or common knowledge at -4.
I will occult. So I just hit this button, right?
Yep, just hit the occult button and it should roll for you.
Can I try to?
Sure, it'd be occult at -2 or common knowledge at -4.
So I think I got a 2. Is that what that is?
Yep, so that winds up as a 1 or as a 0 rather. So you haven't, nothing springs to mind. Zagdig, same, nothing springs to mind. You can, if you would like, you can spend a Benny to re-roll those. Might be a little bit early to do that at this point, but it is an option.
How many bennies do we have?
You have 3.
Yeah, I'll just, okay. So a small white-haired child.
Yeah, she was dressed in some strange, like a strange dress that had dyes and silks. Looked way too pricey for anyone from around here. I don't know why somebody dressed in that kind of finery would steal a pig, let alone 3 of them.
Wait, so the theft was of 3 pigs?
Yeah.
Did she carry them all at the same time?
The little girl says, "No, she whistled at them and they just followed her along with her."
I would so I don't know how this works, but I'm gonna use power.
What power would you like to use?
I would like to use Detect Arcana, which has a let's see, it says duration 5, 1 hour to conceal. I don't know what 5 means, but
That lasts for 5 rounds.
okay. So yeah, allows the recipient of the power to see and detect all supernatural persons, objects, or effects in sight for 5 rounds. Includes invisible foes, enchantments, and so on. So yeah, whatever. I don't know if I can determine whether or not there's been any shenanigans in the area.
Sure. Go ahead and make your spell casting. Spend the power points cost for the power, and then make your arcane skill roll. And Zagdig, you were making a notice check just to kind of see if you
No,
notice
I
it.
was just testing my my penalty
Oh, gotcha.
on notice, make sure it's right.
I don't think that die roll is right.
No, for some reason it rolled it unskilled. Like you didn't have a. Do you not have a skill selected? You have
Yeah,
to
you need to choose a skill for
choose
it.
a
That was
skill
the
for
problem I
each
had, too.
power. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then can I just make my?
You can also just roll the spell casting trait directly.
Okay, let's do that. I'm just rolling ones like crazy here.
Not
Okay.
great. Yeah.
You got to get up battles out early.
The power points fizzle. There's no effect. You can't seem to bring the magic to bear. Could be interference. Could be that you're discombobulated by the crying child and the sort of shrill voice of the upset farmer woman.
Is there like a visual cue of the magic not working that Pophos can see?
What are your trappings, Antonius? Like, what is it? What do you do when you're casting?
So the other thing is, since it's is that considered like a botch or whatever?
No, because you did. You're only considered a botch if you get one on both of your dice. You take the higher of the two rolls.
Oh, okay. So what I can say is if they've seen Antonius cast before, there's usually a sense of kind of, a grim satisfaction that comes with exertion of power. And so that he just kind of looks impotent and pissed. And probably curses and kind of scatters whatever anima is appearing as if it's like dirty.
Okay. Popo sees this and he reaches over his giant claw and puts it on Antonio's shoulder and pats it a little bit too heavily and says, "You'll get it next time." And then he'll turn to the kid and the farmer lady and be like, "Don't worry, we'll get your pigs. You can count on us." And kind of stands up straight like he's like a little soldier.
Yes. Pigs.
Suppose it gives us a reason to learn the area.
Pigs are yummy.
I suppose, and sometimes these small children are deceptive in their appearance. Perhaps she will prove to be a worthy foe.
The old man that's standing there says, "Well, hell, there's been rumor and whatnot of hags around town. There's been rumors about some of the druids got mighty mad a few months ago when the mayor chucked them all out of town. There could be some foul magics afoot."
Indeed.
And Povos kind of taps his chin and says, "It's understandable then. You can't just kick people out of their homes."
Well, it wasn't so much their homes as they were coming to some of the local drinkeries and acting foolhardy. But I don't know what sort of magic they could be getting up to with a pig.
You said that this child whistled and the pigs just followed, right?
The little girl nods.
Which direction did she go?
She points down the trail leading out of town to the east. She says, I've seen her before, once or twice in the area. She mostly only comes at night. Mostly.
All of this information is valuable information. Why are you not providing it instantly?
She shrinks back and her mother pulls her close to her hip and says, "She's been through quite an ordeal. Would you like the gold?"
No, I don't care for your gold.
Well, then I wish you a happy hunting. Please bring me my pigs back.
I will hold my hand out.
She sets a ratty, moldy coin purse in your hand, and you feel the clink of coin.
This should suffice for our time, wasted or otherwise.
She says, "Thank you so much. Come on, Claire, let's get you inside." And they start.
So much pigs wandering off. What is this place doing with their young folk?
Well, Pothos, you wanted to take up this crusade. Where do you start?
Uh, if Antonius is asking this in character, Pophus is
Yes.
kind of like looking. Okay, he's looking up at the sky, gazing at the clouds, and like thinking about the fear that he saw in that kid's eyes, and he turns back to Antonius and he says, "I don't know. Where do strange little girls go with pigs? I guess."
Point it that way and go that way, apparently.
And he kind of has like let's go.
Does anyone see tracks from the cloven hoofed beasts?
I can look for them
Look down.
once we're like. What kind of role does he hear?
If you want to make either just a straight up notice check, you're welcome to. Failing that, you can
survival?
also use survival.
Do the notice.
Hey, I did a thing.
Excellent.
Wow.
That's a good notice you did there.
Yeah, I still have no
Mhm.
idea how this works, but it looks like a green number to me.
So here's how this works. Most of the time, and if I don't give you a modifier, your difficulty is 4.
Oh, okay.
So anything that's a 4 is considered a basic success. Every iteration of 4 beyond that is what's considered a raise. So you gain additional information for those raises. So we got a straight notice from Popos, which is a success, and a straight notice from Ominous at a success. So you both can see very clearly there are tracks for the pigs and what appear to be footfalls of small footfalls. Zagdig, you were relying on survival specifically. So with your raise, would you like to... do you have a question that you'd like to ask about these tracks? Is there an additional piece of information that you would particularly be interested in, or should I just give you the first thing that springs to mind?
Big first thing that springs to mind. Your mind's fine. I can't think of anything right now.
Sure. You can clearly tell that based on kind of ambient odor and a couple little particles among the tracks, it looks like they were being baited, perhaps with like some meat or some sort of a jerky, perhaps that this child was feeding the pigs to get them to come along.
Common trick.
What's that? I'm sorry.
It's a common trick.
Yep,
Very
exactly.
effective.
Exactly. And Antonius, then you also got one raise, so do you have any particular question, or are you just looking for the first thing that comes to mind?
I was assuming that we were looking at the tracks as we were leaving town.
Yeah,
but,
somebody were following them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not really much of a tracker. What I would be looking for is things that stand out to me about either the person that we're tracking that would separate them as like, this is clearly no normal little girl, or something with the pigs, or something like odd. He would be looking for odd things.
Sure. You notice by the shape of the foot and the pressure that the footprints are making in the ground, that this is not a human child's gait. You're fairly certain this is like a gnome, based on the way the footfalls are landed.
Tonius will chuckle. So I don't suppose either of you know the difference between a human child and a gnome's footfalls. And I'll get real close to the ground.
Both of us will follow you.
Or you see just suggesting this is a gnome.
Well, children are awkward by nature, right? They're always growing into their legs, whereas a more sure-footed person with a small foot, well, if this is either one very confident child or a half competent gnome. Antonius will stand up and dust off his robes.
As you're making your way along, following the tracks, you come to a wooden bridge that goes over the Fairhaven Creek. I'll let you go ahead and set yourselves up in the marching order that you would like to be approaching the bridge at. And make sure you got the little triangle selected over in the options if you want to move your thing there.
I don't know
Also,
what I am.
it should be the one that you can move.
Okay.
And as y'all are moving along, let's go ahead and have each of you just give me a notice check if you don't mind, please.
Oh wow.
All right. Excellent. So everyone passed, and you got raises. All but Antonius got raises. So you'll be able to act completely unhindered as it occurs to you that there are a pack of wolves, two on your side of the bridge and two on the opposite side of the bridge, that sort of are hiding behind the trees, getting ready to come out to attack. And if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I will give them on the appropriate map layer.
This is my chance to look if I picked up food. Did I pick up food? No, of course not. Why would I do that?
All right, give me just a half a second here. I'm gonna get you all added to the turn layer. And then the way that initiative works in Savage Worlds is through a deck of cards. Bear with me for just one moment. There is my action deck. Half a second, please.
Mhm.
While you notice them, you can certainly sort of choose what you would like to prepare.
Well, Ominous has had his spear out the entire time, so he'll drop into a fighting stance with it.
Excellent.
Pophos will not be holding any weapons, but he will have his claws like kind of bent, but like looking real cautious.
Okay.
You the one on the right, me the one on the left. Say that to silence character.
Yes, at minimum, I will handle the one on the right.
I'm guessing it'll probably take a little bit longer for the or the two precipices reach us.
Yeah, most likely. So just to give you a quick breakdown, the map, each of these squares is 1 inch or 2 yards. So effectively, if you're at your pace without having to make a running die roll, you can move your pace in squares, as can the wolves. Make sense? Excellent, rock and roll. So I will get these sorted out in the appropriate order. Our first action goes to Ominous Nightfall.
Right.
And I just need to double check one thing here.
Reach of 1 means I can have a gap of 1 square, right?
Correct.
You want me to go ahead or wait for you to?
Just double checking one thing real quick, because you did draw a Joker. So you can act whenever you want in the round, even interrupting another character's action. You also gain a +2 to all trait and damage rolls this round. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what would you like to do?
Oh, might as well act. So I'll move and I'll attack that one
Excellent. You're going to try to stab them with your spear, I take it?
with my spear.
Excellent. Go ahead and
magic helmet.
give me that fighting roll if you don't mind. Cool. That will hit. It is enough to equal their parry, so that hits. So you may go ahead and roll damage. You need to overcome their toughness in order to deal them damage. Beautiful. Okay, so that's a 3 on the damage. The bonus damage does not come into play because you did not do anything to trigger bonus damage, but you do get +2, so that's a 5. So that does exceed their toughness.
And so that takes them down the one. It takes a wound away, right?
You should have shaken this first, doesn't it?
So on a success, the character is shaken. And if you had gotten a raise, they would suffer a wound. But so right now, that wolf is considered shaken.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yep, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and shake them up. And that will bring us to the next action,
Is it
which
me?
belongs to Zagdig. What you got?
I'll go after the one on the left.
Excellent.
I would swing at him with my battle axe.
Wonderful. You come running over to the wolf, battle axe in both hands, I assume, and just let out a mighty swipe.
So I have a shield too, so one head.
Excellent. Okay. Go ahead and give me that fighting check, please.
At a 9.
Wonderful. So that's a hit and a raise. Go ahead and roll damage. You just need to be able to surpass its toughness. If you do, it will be wounded.
It's a 4.
Excellent. That does not surpass its toughness. No, I'm sorry. It does equal the toughness, and you got a raise. Okay, you got a raise to hit, but not on the. Just double checking to see how the raise on the hit is affecting it here. Okay, yeah. So you actually bring down the axe and just drop the wolf. Do you want to kill it, or do you want it to just be rendered unconscious?
Kill it.
Excellent. You decapitate the wolf. Blood sprays about 10 feet up in the air as its head rolls about 5 feet away from you. And that brings us over to our good friend, Pophos. What you got?
So Pophos sees the immediate attacking of these wolves and he kind of freaks out.
and he looks at his companions and says, "Do you know nothing about wolves?
Dinner.
If no, it's not dinner. They could just be passing through. They're just like us. They could be hungry. Just you're supposed to back away slowly to disengage with them. We don't have to kill everything we see." And then he lets out like this loud, frustrated, feral yell. And I kind of want to like use that to intimidate the wolves to try to make them back up.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead and give me a intimidation check, please.
Oh, no. Lock it. How do I pull it up? It's under unskilled.
No, it should be when do you have any dice in intimidation?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so yeah, it's an unskilled roll then. Yep. So unfortunately, that is not sufficient. Well, yeah, it's not sufficient to be a hit, so they don't need to resist it. So you let out a wail, and the wolves howl in response. Don't seem to be particularly impressed with what you're throwing down. That brings us around to Wolf 4. Wolf 4 is going to roll to see if he can unshake. He has failed his attempts to unshake. So as he is shaken, he can only perform a free action. He's going to try to move his pace. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Does any of that count as having entered my reach, or is he already in it?
He was already within your reach because you had the reach weapon.
Okay. Oh, then he wouldn't have a disengage.
Right, he doesn't have the opportunity to disengage. So if you have, if that grants you an ability to, like, basically make an opportunity attack, you're welcome to do so.
Look.
Okay, folks. How about we eat this one? Scare all the others away.
Yep, you get a free attack from the retreating character as long as you are not shaken or stunned.
Okay. Stabby, stabby. Just a second, I had to reload the screen because everything went white.
No worries.
All right.
Joy's a roll 20. All right, swing and unfortunately a miss.
Oh.
But you gave it the old college try.
Quick question. I wasn't sure when I'm supposed to go.
You will go. Did you not get a card drawn in?
I think mine get the 3. Is that the three of spades there?
Yep. So yeah, you're at the ass end of the initiative round. Or no. Yeah, you're at the ass end of the initiative round. I don't know why.
Because I think it's saying that there's the wolf at 2 hearts going before him.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know why it ordered it that way. I will manually adjust it. Sure can. All right, there we go. It's your turn. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, having been moved by Pophos's speech here, considering again, I am doing my best to reform a bit. What I'm going to do, I don't know if I can are you allowed to like just hold actions to like prepare an action, just kind of hold off and
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can.
So I would like to prepare a burst that I
Okay.
will not use unless we are assaulted by the wolves. So like if one comes rushing at us, I would like to wait until it is very, very clear to Pophos that it is not going to stop before I blast it in the face.
Glorious.
But I'm not going to blast it otherwise because one is running, right? That one is trying to.
This one here is running away. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's the other two. So, and that one's decapitated. So yeah, I prep.
All right, excellent. Now that brings us to Wolf 4. Wolf 4 is the one.
Wolf 4 is the one that the shaman hit. I think it was when I went.
Okay, so I must have knocked things out of order somehow. My bad. So no, in fact, that brings us to Wolf 3 is dead, so they're not in the initiative anymore.
But if they were, it would be interesting.
Wolf 2 is going to
Wolves.
absolutely seeing that one of its buddies is down. I'm going to have that wolf make a spirit check to see if he routes. He failed his. Oh no! Yeah, he failed. He's not a wild card, so he failed his check, and he is going to take off running, which inspires the other wolf to do so. So as all of the wolves are now trying to run away, are you going to let them escape, or are you going to attempt to chase?
Before I think I'm going to turn to
Or you also do have a held action, so you could burst at them on the way out.
well, so my only concern is that I'm gonna look to the group and say, if our suspect is able to talk to pigs, there's nothing to say that they can't talk to wolves. How do we know these wolves are wild?
We're not sure she even talked to them. She lured them away with food.
Pophos points to Antonius and says, "You might have a point. We should follow from a safe distance."
Yeah, let it run.
Right. So you're gonna let it run, and then you're going to sort of track along behind it.
I'm gonna pick up the wolf though. The one when decapitated.
Excellent. Its hide will fetch a pretty penny, provided that you can keep it intact long enough to get it skinned and back to town.
Oh, now I have so now I have a reason to launch a spell. So rather than cast the burst, I will once again attempt to detect Arcana.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Nice.
Spend your power points, do your thing.
Yeah, that's a big fat raise.
Wow.
Excellent.
Yes.
So that would be 8, 12. Yeah. So you get 2 raises. Yes, you can detect the presence of magic on the wolves. You can tell that the spell that was used on the wolves was Beast Friend. And you can tell that the spell was cast using druidic magic.
And is it like an act, like it's still going? Is that what is it? Or like
Yeah, they're
cast?
still under the effects of Beast Friend. So these wolves are being controlled by an outside force through magic. But just for clarity, you're not chasing them, you're just following that direction, correct?
Right. However, I think I would like to follow that up with one more spell,
Sure.
if I can. I would like to spend one more power point to cast the one that's closest to us, the one that's running.
Yes.
This is probably the one that I can pick up on. My range is smots on dispel.
So what's your smarts?
10.
Okay, so that's enough.
All right.
So you want to try to
Make a
dispel the beast friend?
on the one, yeah.
Let me double triple check something on beast friend real fast,
Sure.
because I don't know if it's let's see.
That's a waving hands and whispered words going.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead and
We whipping it.
give that a spell casting shot.
I can break this. Seeing these poor wolves have a master. That's a 7.
Okay.
It says as a
Okay, so they also get to make a arcane skill check to see if
yeah, it says it uses spirits if it's like an edge or something like that.
right. Give me 2 shakes. All right, so you are able to break it.
All right.
That wolf immediately starts whining and running kind of off to the side from the other two. The other two continue moving down the path.
So those two are likely going to their new master.
Yeah.
That one is hopefully going to run off somewhere to protect its head.
Stands to reason. Would any of you like to do, is there any other actions any of you would like to take at this point?
Just a little flavor. Seeing that the group, or at least Antonius, agreed that we should not be attacking these wolves, and the wolves running away kind of invokes like a happy little howl from Pophos.
Excellent.
And he's going to start following these wolves.
Right. But
Respectable distance.
you're keeping a distance, not chasing them.
Yes.
They do start. They're running at a pretty good clip. You are able to keep track of them, but you do see up ahead. They come up to like what looks like kind of a dilapidated house, specifically a barn. Simple wooden building with a closed wooden door. And you kind of see the two wolves that are running, kind of run up and nudge the door open and make their way in to the building.
Well, at least it isn't locked.
Of course it's not locked. How else would a wolf open a door? You silly.
That's what I said.
I guess you did.
Ah,
So yeah, you see they kind of ran up to that door and let themselves in.
Pophos is like immediately gonna like shrink down. You got this 6'5" beast-like human trying to crouch and be stealthy, and he's gonna start like he's gonna do a little sneaky lap around the building.
Okay. Trying to kind of like see if you can see inside or hear what's going on.
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a notice check if you don't mind.
Sure. How's that? 14.
Pretty darn good. You get 2 raises. So you can sort of hear, like, as you get up to the edge, you can hear some snarling going on inside and a little bit of shuffling around. You hear some chanting, like a brief chant, and then you also can smell like there's definitely like a cooking fire going on in there. There's definitely some sort of a um like a large like a pot boiling.
Uh, can I discern how many voices we're chanting?
At least two.
And not quite sure about this question. Would I be familiar with the chant?
Um, I would say you could make a common knowledge roll at -4 or an occult roll.
What a request.
While this is going on, can I cast a spell?
You know what spell would you like to cast?
I would like to boost. Well, this is. Do I have at least? I probably have a chance to take like 2 different actions, right? I wanna
Yeah, I
boost
mean,
twice.
you have time. If none of you are like pressing entry, you have time to do kind of whatever you want to do.
You said occult, right?
Occult would work, yeah.
God, what is to keep
I
happening?
like seeing what I'm seeing from my fighting friends. So I would like to boost their fighting. It says I can boost or lower trait, right? So like it can
Yes.
be an attribute or a skill. So I would like to boost both ominous and Zag's fighting.
Sure. So you're casting it on each of them?
Yes.
All right. So
So it increases the trait by 1 die type or 2 with a raise. So I'll start with ominous.
yeah, that's 2 power points for. Well, actually, you can just do it with one casting. You can spend because you can activate the modifiers. So if you do,
Oh, is that what those? I was
Yeah.
wondering what those are for. Okay.
yep, extra power points spent, you can activate those modifiers.
All right, then I'll just do that. Let's whip it.
All right, you do so. You do not get a raise, but you're able to raise each of their fighting by 1 die type. And so
Since
that
they're
will
buffing each other, I'll
You're
cast Smite on both me and Omnis.
excellent.
And the way it appears is their weapons start dripping blood.
I love it. So with Smite, you can cast it basically on the weapons that you and Ominous are carrying. And it would cost you 3 power points. Then you would just make your roll, which you made, which is a success. So you're good to go there. So for 3 power points, you can boost.
Yeah, boost both of us. 2 for me and one for additional, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so what that does is that increases the weapon's damage by +2. And again, that lasts for 5 rounds. Any other pre-combat actions? Does Ominous have a pre-combat action?
I don't think so. Look, the sheet.
Scowl. Your pre-fight scowl.
His powers are either getting people away from him or they're drawing people in. But
You can also like if placing yourself would also be like a pre-combat action.
oh, yeah, and I do have athletics, so that might have cost me no matter what.
What's the big red box on the map? It's very
That's
scary.
a room that you can't see into. That's all.
Oh, okay. That's a room. Okay, I got you. Like, oh, that's where the fire is.
Both of us rolled a 5, or I rolled a 5. We rolled a 5.
Okay. And that was for for
For-
your yeah.
for
So
the chance.
you recognize that absolutely as being a druidic chant of some sort.
Okay.
So like
Puffles
like
is
a
gonna-
spell probably of some kind.
Okay, so Puffles makes that full lap, and then he comes back to whoever the closest person is and relays all that information, and says, "Sounds like they're doing a spell in there."
Rip the doom some spells out here. Whoever it is, put those dogs on the road for a reason. Any pigs around here?
Not that I heard. Did I hear any pigs inside the building? Did you mention that?
Yes, you hear like some snorting of some pigs.
Uh, and Puffles is like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, wait, no, I heard some pigs. Yeah, they go right. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I heard some."
Where's the door to this building?
The door
North of
is
us.
right
Where
here.
the two
Yep.
wolves are.
Where the two wolves went in.
So I would be like over here-ish.
Yeah, I mean, you were circling the building, so you can kind of place yourself wherever you want. The rest of you are kind of to the south there when the initiative kicks off. And so we're looking at the first action on here is going to be Antonius. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm a big fan of getting behind my burly fellows, so I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to burst is an area effect, right?
Yes. Burst covers, I believe, a medium blast template. Oh no, it's a cone.
Great. So I'm in a pretty solid position. There we go. I'll stand there. And yeah, I would like to open up on the door.
What?
And hopefully anything on the other side of it. So it says large fan of energy that bathes its targets in red hot fire or cone of cold or other damaging matter or energy. Yeah, Antonius's power tends to evoke itself in screaming, swarming bloodstreams. So red arcs of anger and hate spatter.
I love it. And you're firing it into. So I
So
need.
if the door is like, I don't know, like here, can I click?
The door is there.
Yeah. Yeah, I hit the aim at the door basically.
From where you're standing?
How well? I can move 1, 2, 6 or whatever.
Yep, you can move up 6 without having to roll.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess here.
Okay. And that's an 18-yard cone, so give me just a half a second here as I
Oh, do I get an actual cone to drop on the map? Yeah, look at that.
Holy shit.
So is Puffles okay?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hit you with it. I'm gonna
No,
graze
and
you.
that's-
It's gonna scream by you.
and that came in way bigger than it actually is. So
Yeah.
um
So if you started at me, just kind of point it at the door and shave Pophos.
I mean it is a 18 yard long cone.
Mhm.
So it goes
Yeah, like that.
1,
There you go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's about right. So okay. All right. What is the go ahead and drop your spellcasting ability.
Yeah, we'll see if I fail miserably. That's not a failure.
That is not a failure. So we got
So how do just out of curiosity, how do the boon things work?
boon things.
Whatever
Bennies.
they're called. Bennies, yeah.
Bennies. So you can spend a Benny to there's a handy dandy list if you go over to the compendium
I would love to.
and type in Bennies. You'll see using Bennies. You pop that window up. You can re-roll a trait, recover from shaken, activate a soak roll, draw a new action card, re-roll damage, regain power points, or influence the story.
Well, I got a raise, so I don't think I need to. Right? Is that
It's a
what it-
raise to hit, right? So that'll apply to your damage as well.
Yeah.
And just give me. I'm just checking spell lists here for a moment, see if there's anything that they can do about it besides get shot in the face with a cone.
It's anything within suffers. This can be non-lethal.
Nope. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
nothing. All
Yeah,
right.
No.
So then you would roll your damage, correct?
And I have to spend. I would, if I wanted modifiers, I would have had to spend beforehand, right?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So 3d6 then is what I'm rolling.
Mhm.
Cool. I think I want to try to re-roll that.
All right, so you can spend a Benny and re-roll all 3d6.
Yeah. Where are my bennies?
They're above that little shield.
Can't find it, but I'll get to it later.
It's right above your pace, parry, and toughness.
Oh, pace, parry, toughness.
And there
So
should be
this
the,
thing. Okay.
Yep.
Boom.
All right, so go ahead and roll 3d6 again.
I get a bit. There we go. Yeah, that's the roll we wanted.
Excellent.
So from 5 to 15.
Well, and those those 2 6s have aced, so you can roll 2 more d6.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Where's the kaboom? There's 4 more, so 19.
So 19. Okay, let's see what this does to our good friends here. That poor druid who had just used up some magic to turn into a wolf, I doubt is going to have the toughness to cope with that. I just need to see what happens if you get knocked out during shape change. Yeah, so they just get dropped. Are you doing this non-lethal?
What?
Are you doing this non-lethal?
I don't know that word.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's fair.
How many wounds have I caused?
Well,
So it says any turn in which a mage causes a wound to a conscious sapient being of some sort, they recover d6 power points.
so really you only wounded one sapient being,
Okay.
and you only caused 1 wound to him because he's not a wild card.
Okay. So do you
So-
want to roll the d6 or do I roll the d6?
Oh, you go ahead and roll the d6. So you have slaughtered those 2 wolves,
Yeah.
and you dropped the druid like a bad habit. Unfortunately for you, there were a couple folks in there that you did not get.
What do you mean?
So
Just a heads up, roll 20s not working for me, so I might need someone to roll for me.
oh, sure. Refreshing is not helping.
No, it's kind of hanging in the loading.
I mean, I consider that a pretty solid round 1.
I've seen worse.
Is the door gone?
The door is absolutely gone.
That was the important part.
I only want the door. Everything else is a bonus.
All right, so let me get over to the map. We'll just get that. Get that out of the way.
Well, give us a second. It's imagining dragons right now.
Sure.
Hatching dragons right now.
That's fair. All right, that brings us now over to our good friend Ominous. Do you want to hold while you're waiting for that to reboot?
How? Well, actually, I can see it on.
Should be able to see it on
Wait.
Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Although that crashed for me too. What happened? Um,
The gods have not smiled upon you this day.
no, it's that whole arrogance thing. How close is a baddie?
So from where you're sitting right now, you actually don't see any of them.
Oh,
You can
okay.
definitely hear some cackling going on inside, but it's not. You can't see the source of it.
There we are. Okay, I can see.
You can see this sort of cauldron that's boiling, and
Yeah.
you see there are 3 pigs chained together over at this table that's just beyond like where the cone went off. Like you just missed frying the pigs.
Like it has happened already.
We already got paid. It's fine.
Yeah, the pigs have not been. No, I mean like when that cone went off, it almost killed the pigs too.
Okay. I guess he'll just move in as close as he can.
So you can move 6 without having to roll running,
Yeah. So
or whatever your pace is. Your pace might be different. I'm not sure.
I think you can go then to the bottom right of the house.
2, 3, 4 inside or outside.
Inside.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so.
No, sorry, the other side, the red side. Like along
There's
that.
no door there.
Yeah, there's no door on that side.
Oh. All right.
Yeah,
My fault.
in the middle of the door.
Okay. There's good.
All right. Once you're inside, you can very clearly see a hag standing here. She's kind of withered. Looks like she's definitely seen better days. She's not in great shape. However, since you have laid eyes on the hag, I need you to make a fear check, please.
All right. Oh, that's going to be a problem because I don't have my sheet.
That's fine. I can
be in roll 20.
I can give it a shot for you.
All right, thanks.
Fear check is generally spirit. I don't believe you have anything that will modify that.
No, I can cause it as well, but
Right.
There's a button for fear check on top. That's click.
Yeah, the little the little face going.
Yeah.
The little Home Alone face. Oh, you did not make your fear check. So we will roll the fear result. Yeah, you did not make your fear check. Would you like to spend a Benny?
yes.
Excellent. Let's spend a Benny for a reroll. Nope, still didn't make that fear check.
Oh my god. It's for the plot.
So you got a 13 on the fear table. You are stunned and suffer some cosmetic physical alteration. A white streak forms in their hair, eyes twitch constantly, or some other minor physical alteration manifests.
All right, we'll see the white streak in the hair.
Excellent. And
It's
I will.
distinguished.
I'll modify you that you are stunned.
Didn't tell us that that's actually his 5th one.
Excellent. While stunned, you are also distracted and vulnerable. And let me just see how you get out of being stunned. While I'm looking that up, though, that brings us to our next action, which would be...
Me?
Yep. Zagdid, what you got?
I guess I'll also move forward and look in the door.
Okay. Make a fear check, please.
A 10.
Oh, yeah, you're A-okay. You got it, and you got a raise on it. So you are totally fine. No worries. You may act normally. What would you like to do?
What are the rules for running? Like, is it like an action or?
So if you go more than your pace, you roll your running die, and I believe that does count as your action. Just checking to see. There we go. Thank you, Index. Okay, you can run as a free action once per turn, increasing your pace by your running die at a cost of -2 penalty to all other actions that turn.
Okay, so -2 to all my other actions.
Yep.
Okay, so that is, I don't know what that actually means. Is it 8 total, or is it 8 more?
Yeah, it was 8 total, so you get two more squares out of it.
So I'm currently at 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that giant portal is in the middle, right?
Yeah, that's the cauldron, basically.
That's a cauldron.
Yep.
So 6, 7, 8 on top of this guy's body, I guess.
Sure.
And I guess I can't really reach him with my axe here, so I'm just gonna try to intimidate him.
All right, go ahead and make your intimidation check. If you get above a 4, they will need to make a spirit roll.
And it's at -2, right? Because I ran.
Yes, correct.
Nope.
Yep, no good. You let out a roar, and the hag lets out a hiss. And that brings us to the hag's turn. She is going to cast Slumber. And she's going to spend an extra 3 points for the area of effect to increase the area to a large blast template. So that's going to drop her a total of 5 power points. Just 1/2 a second here. Oh no. No. That is not good. Our lady has botched.
I think that's a wonderful result.
Yeah, it's wonderful for us.
Yeah, she's gonna go night night. Oh, we lost Simon.
Did we lose Simon completely?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Lost him on the call, yeah.
Watch. Sorry, our cameras are a little bit janky. Give me a moment, and I'll try to get that sorted out. But the spell misfires, causes a level of fatigue, and instantly terminates any active powers she was concentrating on. I will get to performing some surgery on our windows. However, that's going to bring us over to Pophos. What you got?
All right. So Pophos, upon seeing Antonius demolish this door, he's gonna call over to him and be like, "See, you got it this time." And he's gonna take out some rope, and he's gonna make a lasso. My intention here is to lasso the hag into like some kind of hog tie.
Excellent. I would say that's probably going to be a athletics, though I could be persuaded to use survival, I suppose.
I don't know. I like athletics.
All right. Wow.
And,
Wow.
just went ahead and did that.
Yeah, you did. So that's going to be a total of 3 raises plus the hit. So we're going to just go ahead and assume that she is bound and entangled.
Yes, and Povos did this by like tucking and rolling into the building,
And he like slid across the floor. Like, how far can I go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do it from here.
All right. Excellent. Give me 1 second to notate that the hag is bound and entangled. All right. That brings us then to our sneaky little gnome spy buddy who has been hiding under this table this whole time. They're going to pop up and try to stab Pophos in the kidney.
It's messed up.
In the soft bits.
I'm going to give them a +2 because you were unaware of the attack. As they pop out from underneath the altar, like next to the pigs, and come up dagger in hand.
Man.
All right, so that's a 7. What is your parry?
My parry is a 5.
All right, so that does hit. Ouch, that's 10 damage. So what's your toughness?
My toughness is, it says 6 parentheses 1.
Okay, so that's with your armor, it's a 6, and then you have 1 from armor. So that does hit with a raise. So you would be shaken and wounded. Now, if you would like, you can
Benny?
spend a Benny to try to soak.
That's what we do when I'm a soak it.
All right.
And how do I convey a soak? Just hit
There's a
the.
dice button for soak.
Yep.
Ooh.
Excellent. So that is sufficient to avoid any damage.
Ugh.
The knife slices into your armor but does not pierce the flesh.
And just because we love to do it, Puffles is gonna look over his shoulder and go like, "How dare you?"
The gnome kind of eyes go wide. They're very shocked about this turn of events. And so that now brings us back to the start of the order. If I'm not mistaken, yes, it does. So we clear. We remove all turns, clear the list. We add turns for everybody who's still alive. Come on, Roll20, behave yourself. There we go. And we reshuffle our deck. And we deal. And then we set them up descending, and we set them up by card suit. All right. So the first action now goes to Ominous. Ominous, you will need to roll to make a vigor roll to overcome being shaken.
All right, that's
Or being
yours.
stunned, I'm sorry.
Attribute. Oh, right. So I can shake it. Did I shake it off? Did I fail to shake it off? I was getting this loaded and then I forgot what was going on.
Oh, you roll your vigor to see if you shake it off.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
No,
not even a little bit.
Benny?
You can spend a Benny for reroll, absolutely. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Congratulations. You are no longer stunned, but you are still distracted and will remain so until the end of the round.
Okay.
So while you are distracted, you have -2 to all trait rolls until the end of your next turn. So you can still do something, you just are going to be at -2.
All right. So the baddie's over there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's also the little gnome that's stabbing Pophos in the kidney.
Oh yeah.
My kidney.
1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah. Let's stab at that one. Okay.
Gnome's up here,
Spear.
but yeah. Oh, you're staying back the square, right?
He
Smart.
gets spear.
Wicked smart.
Go Sox.
Oh yeah, that wasn't great.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Ominous. What's going on?
All right,
What's
I'm just
going
gonna
on?
let Benny because this is just like
Yeah, go for it.
ridiculous.
It's not just a name.
Well, that's better.
Yeah, it's not awful.
Is that a 0?
Because you're still distracted. So you swing wide, and this gnome is just too fancy on its feet. You are unable to gain purchase and unable to get
Mother of
stabby.
fucker.
Oh, that reminds me. I never had Pophos make a fear check. Please make a fear check for me.
Do that?
Oh, Pope was fine.
Oh, yeah, you're solid.
He's empty head, no thoughts.
Whoa.
No worries. That brings us then back around to
It's me, right?
to Zagdig. What you got?
I just disappeared from the turn order apparently, but I thought I was next.
You were. I don't know what happened to you. You were next. That's bizarre.
Okay. I'll move up, and I'll say the little man doesn't like killing, so I'm gonna use stun.
Okay. On the no.
Yep, on the gnome.
All right. So go ahead and give me that spell, the arcane spell. Oh yeah.
Yep, there it is.
That's a hit with a raise. Let me just double check if they have to roll anything to resist stun.
Yeah, they do. It's I just had it open and closed it. It's a bigger -2
Okay.
with a raise.
Excellent. I doubt they're going to do that. Yeah, that's not happening. So the gnome spy is stunned, and that will bring us then now to the hag. The
See
hag.
Popos, no killing.
What's up?
I think see Popos, not killing.
Nice.
I appreciate that, Zag.
The hag is going to try to get herself free. That is a bigger check. She does so easily with raises. So she pops the ropes off, and that's pretty much her action for the turn. The spy is going to try to get out of being stunned, which is another vigor -2, right? On her action. That's big fat nope. And so now we come back around to Tony. What you got?
Oh, so in the turn order, it looks like oh, it is me. Okay, yeah. All right. So I see the scuffle. The gnome is thoroughly bludgeoned. It seems. Let's go see what all the fuss is about. I guess I'll make my move so that I can freak out. What's going on? Oh no!
Yep, give me that fear check.
What is it? What role is it?
There's a little button on top.
Yeah,
that looks like
the
face of a screaming.
The screaming face button. Okay.
Yeah, screaming face button.
I didn't even notice that.
Okay, I got a 5 on my screaming face
Yep.
button.
So you're good. No, you do not succumb to the fear.
I go, ah! Oh, wait, never mind. It's just a hag.
Ooh,
Um,
you nasty.
So you said that, and so I see the hag disrobing.
Yeah, she unropes.
All right. Well, it seems that Subdual is the name of the game today. So now that I've, thoroughly evacuated and eviscerated these wolves, I would like to. I'm gonna cast the spell.
Excellent.
So I would like to use Elemental Mastery, Elemental Manipulation. Yeah, but considering I don't think the cubic foot's going to do it. I'm actually going to spend 3 extra power points to increase the volume of. I'm going to be using air for this.
Okay.
Well, actually, you said there's a cauldron full of stuff.
A cauldron of boiling spell components. Yes.
This count as water?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cauldron as my volume of water, and I'm going to just launch it at the hag, using elemental manipulation.
All right. Drop your power points. Roll your spell casting.
Right. So I'm spending 4, right? Because it's 1 plus the plus 3 for the volume.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
The
think.
reason I want it is because so it hits them with a push, but it's a -2 to resist, and the damage is increased. So yeah. Instead of 2d4, it's 2d6. All right. So I'm making my spell casting roll. Spell. Wow. 17.
Wow.
All right.
Let's
so
do
that's
this.
3 hit. That's 3 raises.
All right. So
Um,
hold on. So damage is increased 3d6 on a raise.
All right.
And I'm using it to push them against the back of the.
Right. So you're gonna slam them into the back of the wall for sure, and drop your 3d6 damage.
3d6 stew damage. So that's 11 stew damage.
Excellent. That's going to get her with a wound and and she's shaken.
Cool. I would like to roll my d6 for power points because I got to deal a wound. She's sentient, right?
She is in fact sentient.
I would like to take those 4 power points back. Thank you. Because smells like blood magic up in here.
All right. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the end of the order.
I think so.
I haven't gone, have I? What did I do?
Oh, no, yeah. Suni hasn't gone.
Nope, yeah, you're right. You actually, yeah, you have
think-
your action. I don't know.
On my
that's just
screen.
again.
Turn order got screwed up. I must have
Suni's in the right order of mine.
hit
Just
the wrong
I
button.
disappeared.
So yeah, it's your action soon. What would you like to do?
Okay. I'm going to take my blanket out of my backpack and wrap it around the gnome. I'm gonna try to do the same thing I
Like,
did to the hag.
Grapple the gnome, basically.
Yep.
All right, this is just gonna be like a fighting check. You'll be at +2 because the gnome is already like shook it.
See, it's only cruel if you wrap it and then grab the loose end and start bashing it against the wall.
Like Jason and
Yeah.
Jason X.
It's like a sack of no mayonnaise.
No
Ew.
mayonnaise.
That's unnecessary.
How do I add the +2?
Oh, we'll just do the
Just
math when we
editors.
look at the.
We could do math.
Yeah.
I mean, you said you wanted gore. I mean,
So that's 7, because your wild die, you take the higher 2, which is clearly enough to defeat the gnome's defenses. Are you going to, in fact, bash the gnome against something once you've got it wrapped up, or are you just holding it?
Nope, gonna roll it up real tight, like a little coddled baby, and I'll pat it and be like, "Shh, you don't have to fight us."
All right, and now everyone has gone, correct? Or no, yes, everybody's gone in this order. So we clear it out. We recall all the cards. We add turns for everybody who still has a turn to take. And we deal. And we set these up by card suit. All right. So you've got the Joker, Tony. So you can go wherever you want, and you get +2 to any trait roll you make this turn.
So in at this point, thoroughly humiliating this hag and her shameful act of attempts at magic, I will hover. I was going to say ominously at the door, but there's already one of those here. I will hover at the door with his hands kind of raised in anticipation, and he will just glare across the mess at the hag and say, "Your move, ugly."
All right. Are you going to try an intimidation on this, or are you just holding your action?
I don't intimidate. He's just mad. Actually, no, I'll be holding.
Or you
because
can,
I
you can
believe
go whenever you
I
want
can-
with the Joker. Yeah.
yeah, I can park a dispel just in case she decides to get jiggy.
Right. And you can
Um,
decide. You don't have to like pick a spell to hold. You can just choose whenever because you have the Joker.
Okay, I will hold on to my Joker and my turn.
All right. So that'll bring us over to Pophos. What you got?
I think
Besides
at
a
this
gnome and a blanket.
a new friend that I think Pofus at this point would try to start reasoning with them, or at least talk to the gnome, to see if he would get like any response, or is this gnome just trying to fight?
You can make a persuasion check if you want to.
Oh, let's go. We're doing persuasion that I didn't get. Oh God, what's wrong with me?
You're unskilled and it's a -1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got a 2. The gnome doesn't give you any meaningful response. Could be that she's still stunned out of her gourd. But you don't really get any meaningful response. But good try.
I pat the gnome and say it's okay.
Zagdig, it's now your action. What would you like to do?
Okay. I guess go after the hag. I guess I will flip my axe to the flat side and try to hit her over the head with it.
Excellent. And you do still have smite up, so don't forget that.
Yeah.
And the +1 die.
Yep.
I think they're both added to my sheet right now, so I'll find out when I roll and see if that's true.
Give me that fighting check. Good lord. Looks like we don't have a +1 to your fighting, so that would actually be 12. So that's actually a couple raises. Let's go ahead and roll that damage on that axe. Excellent. So that's a 4 plus
2 for smite, right?
2 for smite. Yep. So that's 6. That does surpass her toughness, and she is already wounded, so that will deal her a second wound. Unless, were you going strictly for a knockout?
Yeah, go for a knockout.
You knock her out because she already had fatigue from botching her spell. The hag loses consciousness.
Yay.
That takes her out of the fight. That now brings us to Ominous. What you got? Simon?
Yeah.
It's Ominous' turn. What you got?
Oh. Okay. That gnome
Yes.
is
Wrapped up in a blanket and whimpering.
Like a burrito.
Yes, it's a little gnomerito that is.
You go check the other room.
yeah. This one here.
Yeah, you want to run down to the bottom room and search it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
Sure. Go ahead and give me just a quick notice check.
Yeah. What the actual fuck?
Oh, it's because you're still distracted. You
Oh,
shouldn't be. So you can go ahead and remove that distracted and then reroll. My bad.
I mean, he's still
It's
fumble.
funny.
where is distracted here?
It's the
Um,
diamond icon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Wait, it should be red or gray?
Should be great.
Okay, let's try this again. Hey,
There
better.
you go. Now you get it. So you see there's a chest. This is like a bedroom. It looks like this may be where the druid is staying. You find a chest. The chest is not locked. There is 100 gold pieces in the chest. And a potion of spider climb.
I'll take the potion.
All right. No one is anyone pressing for further the combat.
You said the hag is unconscious, right?
The hag is unconscious, and the gnome is effectively a puddle of pleading and begging goo.
So unless somebody prevents you from doing so, I will take the rope that was previously used to rebind the hag. I will also be thoroughly gagging them and bagging them and blinding them, basically covering their head with whatever their clothes are, so as they're, totally cut off from anything. And I would cut their tongue out, but I'm trying to be better.
All right.
Yeah, you're trying to be nice today.
So I take the razor out just to cut the rope.
Wonderful. You have defeated the hag. You get them, the hag and the gnome, completely incapacitated, taking them into the city to turn them in, I assume?
I mean, I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do with them. We just came for the pigs.
Sure.
For the
Yeah,
pigs.
I was like, food?
Can
So,
I drink their
Yeah.
blood?
Oh no.
I will say, hey, ominous, do what needs to be done with this one.
which one? The hag?
Well, I hand him the hag.
You can absolutely feed from the hag if you want to.
I never
I'll check on the
fed
state of the animals to
off of
see
it.
if they're salvageable after that big blast.
See if what's salvageable, I'm sorry?
The animals.
The animals are fine. They were missed by the blast. You also find on the druid's corpse, you find a potion of healing. That would have come in handy. And there are, if you take the various ritual components, the cauldron, the copper chalices that are sort of scattered around, and the black velvet mask that the hag was wearing, that's another 100 gold pieces worth of items you're able to collect. You get the pigs, you return the hag and the gnome to the city. The mayor sends the local guard to fetch the wizard in Zephon in the nearby tower to figure out how to deal with this hag.
Oh, but I do burn the house down because that's part of my job that I just refuse to give up.
That's fair. It's old dry wood, so it goes up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is where you have now completed the Wicked Woods. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about tonight's adventure?
No, it's
That
good.
Blackest
was great.
pacifist ever.
Oh, that was fun.
Thank you.
I've never played a pacifist role, and I had no idea how to do it. And y'all leaned into it, and that was great.
I think it worked out.
loved it.
I think it worked out really well. This group was a lot of fun. The system, once again, I feel really is kind of fast and fun, and we got through those situations. In other fantasy games, those could have been very long slugs of like, I swing my axe, I swing my axe, I swing my axe. But it's really built around, you had the one main villain, which was the druid, or I mean, it was the hag, and everybody else is kind of extras, you know. So I really enjoyed it. Now that you've created characters and played through, what do you have impressions or questions or anything that you would like to bring up before we call it a night?
I want to play them again and not like roll so badly.
Well, I feel like at this point, I try to make it a habit of playing with the new stuff whenever I get provided with new stuff. And just to anybody who is either familiar with this game or wants to play it, all the stuff in the Odysseys and Overlords piece is super smartly added. Like we didn't get to talk about a lot of it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of everything I'm seeing in here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, the take on the orc is amazing.
Good. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. Thank you. And that does remind me, once again, the reason for the season, the point of the get together is, we are running a Kickstarter. I've thrown the link back in the chat. If you can either help out or, spread the word, we've got some cool add-ons going on. And if we are able to get past our base goal, I have some stretch goals in mind. We're currently just shy of 75%. So with 8 days left, so it's not impossible that we will get into some of those stretch goals. Best way to do that is if people can spread the word. I would like to give everybody a chance to kind of tell us once again who they are, what they do, who they're playing, their pronouns, the characters' pronouns, and anything they might care to promote. And I would love to get together maybe another time and do this again down the road. We'll all get in touch. I'll get an email chain started or something. But I guess let's go in reverse order as we are backing out. Simon, if you could, please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you'd like to promote.
All right, my name's Simon. He, him. I played Ominous Nightfall, vampire, mighty warrior. Also he, him. I review games over at www.thetabletopalmanac.wordpress.com or on YouTube at the Tabletop Almanac channel. You can also find me at Tabletop Almanac on Twitter and Instagram-ish. I'm also on the Onyx Path Twitch channel Wednesday, the second Wednesday of every month from 9 o'clock until I decide to stop, 9 o'clock Eastern until I decide to stop doing it, depending on what I'm talking about that week. Going on a second season of Walking into Shadow, a Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary introductory series. This season, we are focusing on the act of building the Chronicle, and doing an example as we go. Odysseys and Overlords is pretty awesome. I did a review over it. You can check it on the YouTube channel. I quite enjoyed it. So I had a lot of fun and hope to do it again. Thank you, Travis, for including me in this.
Thank you for being here. I really had a great time, and it was a pleasure to have you here. We don't, despite the fact that we both do stuff for Onyx Path, I don't feel we get to do enough stuff together.
That's true.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for making the time and for making yourself available. Next up, that brings us over to Lecco. Please give us your pertinence.
Yeah, Lecco Rodriguez, he, him. I was playing Atonius Remoreth. That may or may not have been his real name, but he means it. The reformed and corrupted practitioner of blood sorcery. Also he, him. I am a gym rat and a filthy casual, lucky enough to get invites to these little showcase events, these highlights, these opportunities to play new stuff with old friends. And I'm always appreciative in making new friends as well. So it's nice to meet everybody that I didn't meet previously. Said in the intro, I do appear regularly on the Old Ways podcast in one of their Call of Cthulhu campaigns, though they do play a lot of other stuff as well. Anything from like Alien to They Came Froms are pretty popular right now. Delta Green, so they play all sorts of stuff. And all of it's like pre-recorded and produced and put up on your various RSS feeds, iTunes, what have you. And I, again, can be found on the app formerly known as Twitter at TeamLeco, TeamLeco, where any of my moderately tepid takes on anything can be witnessed. Yeah, that's me.
Sweet, and always a pleasure. Thank you very much for making the time to be here. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Next, that brings us around to Ray. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, anything you would care to share with the class.
I'm Ray, and my pronouns are he, him. I played Zagdig, the clueless orc shaman, and I had a lot of fun. I don't really have anything to plug. I'm not really on social media. Yeah, I mean, this is a blast, and this is my first time playing through Savage Worlds, and I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear it. I always love it when people enjoy a new system. It's a bonus that this is also a game that I'm working on, but just in general, I always like introducing new fun systems to people. So I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. That's good to hear, and thank you for making the time to be here. And last but most certainly not least, that brings us to Suni. Please give us all your pertinent details.
All right, guys, what's good? My name is Suni, pronoun she, her. I was playing Pophos, he, him. He was a curious, clueless. I didn't pick clueless. What did I pick? I don't even remember. Pacifist. There we go.
I'm the
Oh,
clueless one.
wild book. That's right. And you can find me at Wham Bam Narrow Tan with 3 N's. It should be down here. I'm on IG, Twitch, and kind of TikTok. I really just do like cosplays of original characters and trying to get into more fandom character cosplay. And this was like my first time too playing with this system, and I gotta say it was really, once I understood it, it was like easy to pick up. So like, I think you did great with this. I loved it. I can't wait. I would love to play again.
Well, thank you, and we will definitely have to make that happen. I really enjoyed all of you being here. I really had a great time with this. And yeah, this was, I picked this adventure because it's very fast, very easy. It's the kind of thing where we could do character creation and run it and do it all in one night. But I would absolutely be interested in diving in some more and getting into some stuff where maybe we can get more into the world too, because there's a lot of, this is really just a kind of stock fantasy adventure. I decided to go with that for simplicity's sake. But there are things where you can get much deeper into the world and the lore. So yeah, I would love the opportunity to do that. We will definitely have to make that happen. Thank you again for being here and for your time. I really appreciate it. And definitely, if you're watching this, go hit the link. I threw Suni's link in the chat. I guess that leaves me. My name is Travis. My pronouns are he and they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. I am currently kickstarting, obviously, this Odysseys and Overlords 2nd edition. We are just like a hair shy of 75% towards our goal with 8 days left. So if you've not yet done so, please run over there and check that out. Also, the adventure we're playing tonight, if you would like to grab it for your own game, is available at Drive-Thru RPG. The Wicked Woods is up there. I've got a lot of Savage Worlds stuff up there. Another thing I want to plug regarding Savage Worlds, the Suede Horror Companion finally came out. And when it did, I was therefore compelled to update my setting Contagion, which I've been working on for 20 years off and on. And we have a Savage Worlds version of that, which I just updated to come into compliance with the Horror Companion. Did some expanding on it. It went from being like a 45-page book. I think the PDF is now 110 pages. And that is available as an add-on at the Odysseys and Overlords Kickstarter for much cheaper than it's available at Drive-Thru RPG. So if urban fantasy with some religious tones to it, or sacrilegious tones, as the case may be, to it, and it is something that is interesting to you, check out the Contagion Savage Adventures as well. I will next be on the internet tomorrow over at the Onyx Path channel. I will be running Scarred Land Sins of Shelzar Season 4. They're about to fight some gods. It's not going to go well for them. And then Thursday, I will be over at the Pinnacle Entertainment channel for their Savage Universe talk show, talking about Odysseys and Overlords. So lots of fun stuff. And then Friday, I'll be back here, I think at 2 or 3, it's in the schedule, 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern for another Odysseys and Overlords one-shot. So if you want to see the system in play with another group of people, we're basically going to be doing the same thing but running a different adventure. So once again, to everybody who's sharing the screen with me, thank you so much for your time, for being here. For everyone who's been watching, whether you're watching live or in the VOD, thank you so much. And please spread the word about Odysseys and Overlords. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Get your shots, wear your masks, wash your hands, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye.
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 Bye.